And then that's followed by the sun, which is health and healing and happiness and growth. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the world, which is a card of success, assured success. So that's telling me that yeah, that that he'll be taken care of. That
Okay.
there seems to be a fund, and there seems to be methods that'll come up that will help. Let's just see if we can get anything. And listen, let me tell you, this is not normal for me because I never have not had this work with an afterlife reading.
Oh,
But you did start by saying that you never hear anything and you never feel it, so let's see if we can
right.
do something. If I don't get anything now, you
Uh-huh.
can contact me off the air. My
Okay.
email is asktarot@earthlink.net. You can find me through askoneradio.com. There's all kinds of ways to get me. And no charge, I'll try it again. How's that?
Okay.
Because this just, we might want to just discuss a few things in a more positive way and see if we can
Right.
do it. But,
Okay.
but no, see, I'm not getting any of the cards that I usually get that indicate a past life reading at all. Um,
Okay.
so if you can try another time with me or here if you can get through, or just drop me an email and we'll arrange to do something that way. Okay. And no charge. I mean,
Okay.
this is not like sneaking a job out of
Right.
you. You know, this is
Right. And
we
what's
could
your
do it by
email?
phone. Hmm? The email is
What's your
Ask
email?
Tarot, AskTarot, one word,
Okay.
at earthlink.net. That's a nice old email.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
Okay.
appreciate that.
And we'll either do it by email or we'll do it over the phone, and I'll call. It won't cost you anything, and
Well, I appreciate it.
because this has never failed. But I have a feeling that you were not expecting anything, and that expectation is what's getting in the way. Okay, so
Yeah. Oh,
we'll take care of it if you want to. All right.
okay. I appreciate it.
I hope to hear from you.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Thank you. Bye bye
Bye.
now. And we'll shuffle up the cards. Jennifer in Minnesota's next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you tonight, Jennifer?
I'm okay.
Well, maybe we can make that better. What can I look at for you?
I'm just kind of looking into, I'm having relationship problems.
Mm-hmm. And what would...
where that's headed or what direction I should take.
Okay, let's see. 99 times out of 100, people ask me that they know what they want to do. You know what I mean? Let's see what I'm getting. Is this a new relationship?
No.
Okay, because
No.
I got a card here, which is the Page of Cups, which is about a new relationship. And that could either mean a new relationship or the relationship you're in reaching a new level. Unfortunately, the next card is a card of unhappiness, great sorrow, the Three of Swords, which, it doesn't get more sorrowful than that. It shows a heart pierced by swords and it's crying. So there's a very serious situation here, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, see, the Knight of Cups is about usually it means a new relationship too. That's like the Page of Cups. That's why I'm confused here about this. Here's another one, which is the Two of Cups. And then notice you asked about relationship and you're getting cards that are cups, and that's good. That means that the cards are listening to you. But they're pointing the way to something new coming into your life. The Page of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Two of Cups is about a new romance. Here's the Queen of Cups, that it's something that you'll take in. And here's the Ten of Cups, which shows happiness. I mean, this is very odd, I mean, I think what you're thinking about is leaving, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, this is just showing that there's a lot of good stuff romantically in your future. But this is not the kind of decision that you want cards to make for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's a heavy thing here. But here's the Nine of Cups. That's about a very sensual relationship. But it's cups again. It's cups. cups. Every time I get a card here for you, it's cups. It's telling me that they're the page and the knight. They're telling me that there's something new coming your way.
Okay.
So you know that I can't, barely knowing you or the situation, I certainly can't advise you, but you keep an eye out, because here's the Nine of Swords. It's a very sorrowful situation right now, right? You're not happy.
Right.
That's like the Nine of Swords and the Three of Swords are truly unhappy. But yet other cards indicating the future are happy, and they all center around romance. Like the Nine of Cups I was telling you about, or the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups. These are all, I'm just seeing happiness romantically in your future. How you get there is not something that I can advise you on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. So
I do.
But like I said, most people know what they want when they ask a question like that.
Right.
Like, say, if the question was, if I stay with this person, what will my life be like? If I leave, what will my life be like? But I think these cards are answering that there's good stuff in the future, and everything relating to now is sorrow. Here's another one. There's a Five of Coins. That's about money problems and sadness and woe, followed by the Ace of Cups, which is about romance. See, now you're not being treated well in this relationship, are you?
Not the best, not the worst.
Because look at the Five of Swords here is, it's not very good. And the Six of Swords is here, which is a card about somebody going from where they are to where they want to be. Okay. So you're going to make, let me put it this way, as bland as this sounds, you are going to make changes in your life that are going to bring you the happiness that you want. What those changes are is up to you. Correct? Okay. So, correct. Don't let anybody tell you in an encounter like this what to do. I'm just seeing that whatever it is you do, you're going to make the choice that leads to happiness. Okay. So you consider what you need carefully, and here, look, the Sun is here. That's a card about health and growth and joy and happiness. It's good. I see suffering and pain, but not in your future. Okay, you're going to take care of that.
Perfect. That will be perfect.
Is there anything else you want to look at?
Just, is there anyone you can see in the cards watching over me?
Okay. Shuffle them up. And, well, this is fascinating. I'm not going to particularly go by the meaning of these cards as much as I'm going to go by the pictures on the cards. The cards are the Lovers and Temperance. Now, in the Lovers card, it shows two people with an angel over them watching them. And the Temperance card shows an angel. So I think the answer to your question is yes. The image that the cards wanted me to see, to tell you about, is an angel watching over people. So there you go, right? So yes, I do see somebody. So that's good. That's nice. And it can be a little creepy to think that there's somebody watching over you, but it can be comforting. It can also be comforting too, So
yeah.
But I think that you asked the question because you could feel it, right? Right. Yeah. Well, you're a very intuitive person, and these two cards, to get two cards with an angel on them and one specific, here's another one. This is the Star, which is about hope and optimism. It helps prove the existence of mental telepathy. And we all know that. I mean, years ago, somebody gave me great advice. He said, always act as if people can read your mind, because they can. And boy, I tell you, because we give out more cues than we think. People can tell what we're thinking, you can tell when somebody's lying to you a lot of the times. You know that. So it's definitely a book worth looking at. I mentioned again, I'll repeat that 2 books that I mentioned. These are wonderful books that will improve your life. It's Unmasking Fear and Hunches. You can find those at mojoacademy.org. Mojoacademy.org. There's new books coming. By that I mean old books that have been forgotten. I've got a book from the 1890s that before I got ill I started to restore, and I am continuing that right now, and soon it will be available. And it's a book on the wonders and glories of solitude. That scares a lot of people, solitude, but I like it, and this is a book explaining a lot about it. And in today's electronic world where we're overloaded with images and sounds, that's good. So until next week, we've run out of time. Remember, time flies. It's up to you to be the navigator. Bye-bye now.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Energy Reader Mariana with Mariana. Live from soulcircle.vip.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Energy Reader Mariana
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, everyone. It doesn't look, I look a little pixelated, so hopefully I'm coming through okay on your end. My name is Mariana. If you're new here, I am the Energy Reader. That is a psychic, an evidential medium, an animal communicator, and a nonverbal communicator rolled into one. So what is a nonverbal communicator? And we will be taking a call tonight. A nonverbal communicator is someone who will and can facilitate a conversation between someone who might have autism, who might be in a coma, who might have dementia, who might have Alzheimer's, and the inability of that person to articulate conversations has been lost. A energy reader and or a psychic who specializes in nonverbal communication can go in there and facilitate a conversation. That's very evidential. Same with mediumship. You go in, you get some evidence for that person that you are talking to, the nonverbal person that you say you're talking to. And then you, excuse me, have a hard time breathing sometimes. And then you facilitate the questions that the caregiver or the parents want to ask the nonverbal person. That is considered nonverbal communication. It is also how we speak with animals via telepathy. Also, as a psychic, we often take in energetic information that is kind of transmitted telepathic as well. If anyone is ever interested in learning this, I do teach a class called the Energy Reader in You course. That will be starting in September. And there are 4 modalities involved in this class. So it is the psychic modality, evidential mediumship, evidential animal communication, alive and past, and nonverbal communication. It is a 9 to 10 week course. There is one night where it is instruction and one night is circle. So you get 2 nights per week for the 9 to 10 weeks, plus handouts, plus book recommendations, plus journal prompts, plus a journal. All right. Hopefully we'll have a caller soon. I also do have a business side to my mentorship. So if anyone is out there wanting to go to the next level in their business, definitely get a hold of me. My email is soulcircleservices with an S. Really should have thought that through because it's hard to say and it's hard to spell. soulcircleservices@gmail.com. And my website is soulcircle.vip, like very important people or very important pets. All right. What else could we talk about tonight? I just started my standalone. Oh, good. We have Vicki from Buffalo, New York.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, now I hear you.
Okay. How are you, Vicki?
Okay, how are you?
Good. What would you like to talk about tonight?
Oh, well, whatever you see for me, whatever you see in the cards for me.
So I do it a little bit differently. I like for you to give me a direction because I think that general reads are general. I like to answer questions or I like to talk to the people that you want to talk to. Is there any question that you have burning on your mind about your life?
Well, I don't know. Whatever you feel led to tell me.
Okay, well, send me in a direction. Life, love, lovers, kids, business, work, career.
We'll say lovers.
Okay, love and lovers. Let's get. Whoops, you had a couple jumpers there. Cards are jumping out. They're ready to play. They're ready to get busy.
All right. I've been alone for a long, long time.
All right. Well, one of the things I kind of see, your jumper was the Six of Cups and the Seven of Swords. And so you can kind of see in this deck, anyways, that the Six of Cups is a little bit not overly happy, right? It's one of those cards. It's a little bit about cleaning the grief out of your energy, kind of cleaning old energy out. And then you get the Seven of Swords. Often the Seven of Swords, it can be about dishonesty. It can also be about how we talk to ourselves. Sometimes we are dishonest with ourselves by saying that we don't mind being alone when we really do, or we think we need a relationship when we really don't because we are just fine being alone. Which one of those would
Mhm.
apply to you the most, Vicky?
Well, I guess I like being alone.
Yeah. I do see interesting. I think these are two older relationships for you. I have the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups. Are you normally are a straight person who dates men? Yes.
Yes, yes, great person.
Okay. Because the Knight of Cups, I feel like your first relationship was one that every now and then you still miss, and it was very hard to kind of redo that relationship in your life. Would you understand that?
Yes, I understand that. Yes.
And then the King of Swords, unfortunately, I feel like this was the next big relationship, if you will, kind of the one that I kind of think this is the one that keeps you single, to be quite honest. I feel like this is the one that was very much in your head. This is the one that was very critical of you. This is the one that's giving you certain things that you still look at yourself in the mirror and it's not necessarily it's almost a little dysmorphia because you're actually a very attractive, put together person, but I don't feel like you give yourself enough credit for that. Would you understand that?
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah. I think honestly, the Eight of Cups is grieving that last relationship and really putting the responsibility where it needs to go, which is technically on the person who was honestly, he was kind of a jerk, right? He was in your head. He was consistently critical. He was consistently putting you down for things that were either beyond your control or as a way to kind of keep you tilted and off center. Because when we're tilted or off center, we very often fall back on what we know. And being in a relationship was kind of what you knew at the time. I think that
Oh yeah.
I, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're okay. Go ahead.
Oh, that's what I was saying. So I kind of feel that if you did change your mind and you wanted someone to kind of come into your life, really, I think all you would have to do is tweak your energy because I feel like you've done a lot of work on yourself. I feel like you've actually taken on more responsibility for the failure of the relationship than was yours. Takes two people to tango, and so it wasn't all
Oh
your
yeah.
responsibility. Yeah. So I think if you did decide, because I think it's a conscious decision, if you decide that you want to go ahead and welcome someone back in your life again, I think you kind of throw a little switch and change up your energy, clean out that old energy, clean out those old head games, kind of realize that you could recognize that kind of energy for what it is now so that you can make better decisions. Does that make
Well, I
sense?
won't. I won't go. Yes, I won't go back to nobody in my past. Do you see me traveling anywhere?
Oh, let's ask.
I'd like to take a trip, but I gotta save up some money to go on a trip.
I do kind of feel you said you mentioned save up the money. I do think you
Mhm.
definitely need to not be doing the retail therapy. You do get the Nine of Cups, which is wishes fulfilled, but it's kind of one of your it kind of challenges you, because you tend to spend money on stuff that you technically don't really need. So I guess I would probably definitely try to get the retail therapy under control, and I would also just consider some weekend trips where it's going to a friend's house and couch surfing, or going out camping, or going on some nice walks with any animals you might
It's funny.
have.
It's
Because
funny. It's funny you say that. I just came back from camping. I was camping for a couple of days. I just came back.
I love that. I love that. Absolutely. I think easing yourself into that will really help you to save the money you need for the longer trips. I do think that and this is true for a lot of us, but I feel like there's definitely that kind of trip of a lifetime that I feel like you've been saving or wanting to do, and I do think it's within your abilities. I want to say it feels like Greece, but I'm not 100%. Is this someplace that you've always wanted to go?
Greece, I like to go to Italy.
Italy. I was between Italy and Greece. Okay. Sometimes when Italy comes to me, I'm like, that's too easy. But yes, I think that's 100% within your power. And interestingly enough, I don't know if you're a member of Costco, and I'm not associated with Costco, but you might look into their travel program. They actually have a travel program through Costco, and sometimes it's easier to kind of go that way because it's an all-inclusive type thing, and you don't have to worry about making the plans yourself.
Oh, I got to save some money first before I can go anywhere.
Yes, I understand. I am probably not. I'm probably a bad influence there because I tend to put things on credit cards so that I can get the experience and then I pay it off, which is probably not good advice. I do get the Ace of Pentacles.
Yeah.
I do get the Ace of Pentacles though, so I do believe that the money is going to kind of move its way to you. Something great that I heard the other day is that you don't need to manifest it because it already exists. You just need to think about moving it into your life.
What was it? You don't have to pay what?
You don't have to manifest it because it already exists, right? And you got the Ace of Pentacles, so I believe that it already exists. You just need to move it towards your life. You need to move it into your circle. You need to move it into your life. Just grab that idea and that energy and move it towards you. It already exists. The ability to travel, the money to travel, the passion to travel, the energy to travel. It already exists. You just need to move it towards your life.
Okay.
All right, Vicki. Well, thank you so much for calling in tonight. I appreciate it very much. I'm sorry that my show is a little short. I only have a 15-minute show. If anybody ever wants to follow up with me, please do get with me at my website, which is soulcircle.vip, which is very important people, very important pets, VIP, not .com. All right. Thank you very much for being here tonight. This show goes so fast.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Medicine for Your Spirit with Raylene Byrne. Raylene Byrne. Live from RayleneByrne.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Medicine for Your Spirit
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Namaste, everybody. Big hugs and love from my end of the world. This is Raylene Byrne, Medicine for Your Spirit. Boy, are we in for a big month. Oh, my goodness, it's already started. We've got the full moon at the start of this month, which we've just had. We've got a full moon at the end of the month. So we've got these bookends. And there's a lot of watery energy around this month with the sign of Leo, which is fire. There's air, fire, water. A lot of emotional purging, a lot of stuff coming up for people to really finally make peace with or finally let go of. So I would just advise people, there's a couple of things I've been telling people in my world, and that is practice kindness, practice patience, and practice mindfulness this month. And if that's really hard, practice silence. Just really pull your energy in. So this morning I went for a walk on my beach, and I was having a conversation with someone around being selfish. Not accusation, it was just a conversation. And it was really interesting because there's so much judgment around the inverted commas, the term of selfish, being selfish, acting selfishly. So when I sat and thought about it afterwards, I'm really in this place of, is it selfish to honour ourselves? Is it selfish to think for yourself and do what feels right for you? Is it selfish to follow through with actions that are meaningful for you? It doesn't mean that we're pushing things away, and it doesn't mean that we are excluding things, and it doesn't mean that we don't care. But right now, we've got to start looking at how we honour ourselves. We're going through a lot of growth at the moment, a lot of transformation and a lot of healing. So we need to start taking the word selfish out of our vocabulary and start looking at how we're honouring ourselves and how other people are honouring themselves and what it's like to choose to think for yourself. You know, in the recent times we've had when people have been thinking for themselves, one of the accusations that would be made was, well, you're being selfish. If you don't do that, you're being selfish. And really, I'm choosing something for myself. I'm not being selfish. I'm doing what feels right for me. So I just want to throw that out there for you to have a think about and look at what's going on with other people in your life that you might think are being selfish in their day-to-day activities, and look at if you're judging it from your lens, because we don't often know what others are going through that create the actions and the choices and the decisions they make. So my thing this month for everyone is what I just said. Take care of yourselves. Be kind, be gentle, be mindful. And if you can't be that, if it's too hard, be silent. And honour yourself and really focus in on what you're needing, where you're putting your energy this month with all the big changes and all the big disruptions and all the big chaos that's coming in and around this month. Don't be seduced into the chaos. Allow the chaos to be itself and bring your energy back into where you're at, what you're working on for yourself, where you need to be, what choices and decisions you need to make, and how to elevate your own energy. So that's maybe a little bit of medicine for your spirit for this month. Now I have a caller from California. Sorry if I've got the name wrong. Is it Lauren? Lauren.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How can I help? Be of assistance, guidance, support? What do you need?
So my best friend passed. I just found out a week ago, and I'm just having a really hard time with his passing.
So what are you asking me?
I'd like to know how exactly he passed and if he has any messages for me. Let's start there.
Okay. So I'm going to be honest, and I've said this once before in a call, I don't do mediumship stuff. I believe very strongly that there are people out there who do mediumship and talk to, connect with those on the other side. I come from a place where I believe that we are connected to everything and everyone. either in this physical realm or in the energetic realms. And I believe that we can connect with these loved ones that pass, that are on the other side, our ancestors, when we stop and go into ourselves. When we are giving ourselves time and space to breathe, be in our heart, come into that place that is connected to all things, and talk from there. I really would love some reassurance from my loved one who's passed. Is there any way that energy can come through, or that information can come through? You can ask them to show up in some way, give you a sign. You can, and I often say this to people, and I've seen it with people who I know who have got loved ones who have passed. They set up a date and a time, and they put it out into the ethers and say, look, I'm going to be having at my table on this day at this time, and I'd love you to come and sit with me, or come and share that space with me. Because everything is energy. The physical form isn't here, but the energetic part of them is. And if they've had an imprint or a connection with you in this life, there is still a connection there. And you can tap into that. So, there are lots of ways of doing it. As I said, sitting there and calling it in, meditating, asking for a sign, setting up a date, a time and a date. There are different ways. As I said, I don't call in the mediumship stuff. I know sometimes when I work with people one-on-one, it does come in, but I don't profess to do that because I believe that we can connect from our own heart and soul. They're always there. They're always there. And I think the thing that turned everything around for me, and I hope this helps you, is I've done a lot of work with Indigenous cultures, and I've studied a lot of traditional old world healing stuff. And one of the common themes in that all those lineages is simply, the first thing is everything we need to know we already have, which is what I write about and teach. And the second one is that the universe lives within us, each of us. And if that's true, I believe it is, then we have access to everything in the universe because it's all energy. So when we get out of our mental head around that physical boundary and that physical tangible thing, when we stop and go, it's only physical because it's so dense. Now, if I want to elevate and connect to something that's not in this physical dense realm, then I need to be in that energetic connection within myself, and I can be there. You can call it forward, and you can have these beautiful conversations within yourself when you're in a space where you're not in your head, but you're in your heart. So I would suggest finding some time in your day or week to sit down and call that the presence, the energy, the essence, the spirit of that loved one to commune with you in your own heart.
Okay.
And then you can ask your own questions.
Thank you. I have another question.
Sure.
This year has been, I feel like, the hardest year for me. Like, I feel like I'm being tested. And I just want to know if it's going to get better.
Okay. Interesting. I've just pulled a card as you're talking, and it's all about higher knowledge. Look at this, higher knowledge. So 2023 is still doing a year of connecting to our own inner world. It's a soul year. It's a year where we've got to get to know ourselves. And so this year we have been tested a lot. Loads and loads and loads of things that are no longer for us are being shown to us for us to choose. Yes, that stays in my life, or no, that's not for me anymore. We're being given a lot of opportunities to elevate, and expand ourselves. And this year especially is about being very, very connected, even deeper to ourselves. We've got to develop resourcefulness and resilience. And the big lessons when we're being tested, or the teachings when we're being tested, when there's hardship, when there's challenges, we are preparing ourselves. We are being given opportunities to develop resourcefulness and resilience. There's a lot more cuckoo, is the best way I can put it. It's going to start happening because the reality is, Lauren, the world as we knew it is falling apart. And we have to create a new way forward for ourselves. And we cannot bring through parts of ourselves or behaviors or attachments to things that are no longer relevant. So it is going to get better, but the way it gets better is when we start connecting to ourselves and going, okay, and I just talked about this at the start of the show, what are the right choices I need to make for me? Where am I giving my energy? Where's my energy going? And what energy is coming in? Energy input, energy output has to be addressed. Taking time to really examine, reflect, and consider the things going on in your life, where you want to be, how do you want to feel when you are living a life that you want to live? How do you want to feel? Okay, I want to feel free, or I want to feel supported, or I want to feel secure, or I want to feel joyful. All right, if they're the feelings I want in the next 6 months or 3 months or 12 months, what can I do now in my everyday life that gives me a tiny little dose of that feeling so I can start cultivating more and have a reference point? We have to look at ourselves as a point of attraction. That the emotional self, our emotions are a point of attraction. If I'm feeling like, excuse me for saying this, if I feel like crap with myself, I'm only going to get crap things happen. If I start to feel better about myself, lighter, elevating my energy, making good choices, everything else starts to work with me. Everything else starts to elevate. Things don't seem to be as hard. If I'm in a really low dense energy, I'm going to attract more of those things that are hard. If I'm opening up and lighter and more joyful and have more gratitude, things are going to be easier and life will flow better. So it is about mindfulness. It is about presence. And the 4 words that I gave at the start of when I started doing this show for this year for everyone is pause, reflect, connect, and then act. Whatever comes up, pause, reflect, connect, and then take action. And you might have to take different actions than what you've done before to get different results. I hope that's helpful.
Right. Yes, it is. Things
are improving. Things will improve. So thank you for calling. Lovely to chat. This is Raylene Byrne, Medicine for Your Spirit. It's been beautiful to chat with you all. Please take care in the rest of this month. Do the things that are medicine for your spirit. Bye for now.
I'm back again. This is my second time back. Hopefully you guys can follow me Thursdays, every Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time and 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Today I decided I'd talk less about myself, even though I've got so many amazing stories, but I thought I would take more callers to help more people out. So anybody that needs psychic or mediumship, go ahead and call in. Now's your chance. I got to learn to read these chat bars. Something popped up, but no name. Let me see. But yes, I'm ready to take calls. I'd like to focus on that, helping people today instead of talking about myself and being the crazy comedian I am. Is anybody there waiting? Okay. I can't tell. I popped up the chat bar, so maybe that'll help me. I'll start looking at it. But yes, I am a certified international medium, psychic medium. And I've had the gift since I can remember, very young, but I started putting it into practice when I went through my own loss in 2019. That's when I came out of the closet and said, I don't care who judges me, because religions tend to judge me and say it's bad. But every time I finish with a sitter, a human, I get nothing but thank yous and appreciate your service. And so I know I'm doing the right thing. And so I've been doing it now since I got certified. I got more brave and more brave and more brave. And now I'm doing radio. I actually went on to my business Facebook page and did 3 hours live with just names in the chat bar last week. So that was so sick. Hi, Suzanne.
Hello.
Hi, Suzanne. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm wonderful. So you're in, it looks like I'm reading, I don't know too much about geography, but I see it says Georgia.
Yes.
So you're calling this evening. Were you looking for psychic or mediumship? I feel like it's psychic.
Yeah, just something more like in general. We're looking into possibly doing some modifications on the home and things like that, or just anything in general, career-wise or whatever.
Yeah, less is more. The less you tell me, the better the only thing I like is like yes and no's to lead me in the right direction, but I kind of felt like you wanted more of a psychic reading than mediumship. So I will delve right into that. You helped me out a little bit, darn it. But so you're spending money on a lot of home improvements at the moment. And you wanted to know if you were making the correct decisions. Do you really want the truth? Do you want my opinion? Do you want the answer to that?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
And I have your I know. Sometimes it's hard though. And I have your approval to connect with the divine, the other side, to help you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, I am inclined to tell you not to spend too much money on, how do you say, redecorating, upgrading your home. I feel like you're doing it because you maybe want to upgrade to another home and you feel like you'll get more money out of your home by doing this.
Okay. Maybe a little bit.
Okay. So the market right now is really good. And I feel like there's more inventory than there is for sale just because of interest rates. So now I'm talking business. But I would say if you're really, spirit's going through my nose. Whenever I do that, it's not gross. It's nothing weird. It's just spirit. When your nose, it knows. I would say that if you're really wanting something modern, I would encourage you not to maybe waste that money and just put your house up for sale. You'll probably get more than you think you'll get anyway. And then you can literally pick what you want and all those specific things. I feel like it might be a waste of money that you don't need to waste. Does that help you at all?
Okay. It does.
Okay. What else would you like me to go into? I feel like your relationship is already, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the chat bar. I don't feel like we have, okay, hold on. Okay, trying to read the chat bar and go very quick. But I have 5 minutes left with you. So do you have any specific questions? Because I feel like your relationship is very steady and strong. I don't feel like there's any issues there. I feel like you have kids, but I feel like they're really not kids anymore. I feel like they're more grown up. Can you hear me?
Sorry, yeah, you broke up just a little bit.
Oh shoot, where did I lose you?
But no, they are. That they're not grown up, they are.
Yes. That's what I said. So I feel like I feel like you have kids, but they're not really kids, they're grown up. So maybe that's where we got cut off. So I'm correct.
And you're still cutting out. Just
I don't know why that connection. Because okay. I'm sorry if we're breaking up, though, dear. But I'll just try to talk loud and hopefully it goes on. But yeah, so I feel like your kids. You have children, I'll say, but they're grown up, so they're not young kids. I feel like your relationship is good as well. So there's nothing to talk about in that category. I feel like maybe this reconstruction you're doing on the home is also kind of like a hobby thing. But I just would rather see you maybe just save the money, sell, and move into something you can pick that is already the way you like it.
Okay.
Does that help? And ask me or tell me where you want me to rewind or.
No, I moved into another part of the house so I can hear you better. So I'm actually outside now. So I can hear you better now. I don't have the best reception here sometimes. So but no, I understand what you're saying, you know, and we don't know if we want to move yet. And I think that's why we're just kind of doing the upgrades, because we're not quite sure. Because if we're going to stay, we want to do it, you know, because we like where we're at. We just don't know where we're going yet.
So really, I guess I would want to encourage you to really talk about it and think about it. Because I'm feeling like I'm hearing the number 45,000, and I'd rather see you wait and really talk about it and make sure, and not down the line end up selling and not really getting, because you can get your money out right now, and more than you think you can get, you'll get. Right. So you could move into what your dream is, you know, unless you really love being in this location. But I think that I feel like it's more of a hobby. Does that make sense?
I don't know if it's more of a hobby, but I think it's more needed than just one part of the house, not the entire house. So I think once we get that done, then the rest would be hobby.
Yeah. So just, you know, I don't know if the 45,000 rings a bell with you, but that's a lot of money. So just want to encourage you to really think and make sure, because you guys could easily get your money and more than you think right now and move into what you want. Now, hit me with your next question or any question you have, because I want to get it all for you.
No, I understand. I appreciate that. Maybe my career path and then my husband's.
Well,
or either one, whatever you're leaning more towards.
No, I'm just thinking about it, both of it. So are you 39?
No, I wish I was. I wish I was 39.
What? Because I'm hearing 39. So does that mean anything to you or him?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay. So I would say, like, both of you have been in the same career. I feel like you both have been in the same career most of your life. And 60 seconds. I feel like you've been in the same career most of your life. And at this point, I probably wouldn't recommend switching into something totally new unless it's what you love.
Okay.
But I think for the stability I would stay, both of you, in what you're doing, because I feel like it's what you know and it's what you've both been doing for a very long time. So it's going to be better for your retirement unless there is something that you want to pursue that you really love.
Accurate, clear answers to any question. You'll love Suzanne Marie readings. Clairvoyant reader and spiritual light trance medium. Tarot is used for spirit confirmation. She's been a spiritual reader for 30 years and would love to be able to bring accurate, clear, visionary readings for those who seek answers. Available online and phone. Call 320-455-2303 or email readingsbysuzanne@gmail.com. Suzanne Marie. Check her event page for specials.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Soulfully Guided with Carmel Ann. Live from soulfullyguided.com.au.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Soulfully Guided
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
So hello everyone and welcome to another week of Soulfully Guided. I'm your host Carmel Ann and I'm very excited we have a guest with us today, and I will let Candace tell you all about herself and what she does and what we'll be talking about on the show today. But if I could introduce you to Candace. How are you, Candace?
I'm well. How are you? Thank you so much for having me today.
You are so welcome. I'm really excited. We are talking about past life regression and Akashic record and about the process of accessing them. This is something new to me. Although I'm spiritual, I like my logical or practical side of things, and I'm really excited for us to get, for some of us, to get outside of our box in the way we think and the way we look at things, but also to learn from our expert today, Candace, about I'm excited to hear what you've got to tell us. So Candace, to start off with, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes. So I am an energy healer, a medium, a hypnotherapist, and a life coach. I offer a few different modalities of energy healing. So I'm a Reiki master for Usui and Karuna Ki Reiki. I also do trance healing, hypnotherapy, mediumship readings, rune readings, tarot readings, and life coaching. And you can find all of that on my Facebook at Medium Candace G, on my TikTok at Medium Candace G, as well. But the program that is really the closest to my heart is my Phoenix Rising program. And it is a 3-month transformative journey that empowers you to not only kind of heal trauma that you may have experienced, but also focus on healing from addiction and other old behavior patterns, kind of releasing those, addressing your limiting beliefs so that you can rise from the ashes, step into your power, and manifest your destiny.
Wow. Is that a program you've created yourself?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Created it using a combination of the modalities that I offer.
Incredible. I'm really in awe of everything that you know, and also the way you express it. And you, as you know, I feel that you've got such a gentle and mesmerizing voice, and it's a really safe space to be for someone that's going through that, especially which I've shared my own background as well. Please do reach out to Candace if anyone is interested in hearing about more on that or booking with Candace. We also offer some other things which we'll be talking to you about. We're collaborating on our meetup group, on the Soulfully Guided meetup groups, and that's called Finding Inner Peace Through Spiritual Exploration. And Candace will be doing an event there, and she'll be doing a past life regression, and which is what we're talking about on the show today. So Candace, 15 minutes is just not enough for this wealth of knowledge that you have. But what is a past life regression, and what is a past life and a past life regression?
Okay, so there are several different thoughts on what a past life is. I'm only going to cover a couple of them today because we'd be here all night if we went over all of them. But if you do join us on our past life event, you'll hear about a few other theories that are out there. So the first one is kind of that our soul experiences different lifetimes in different bodies with different experiences, different people, sometimes the same people, to accomplish these goals and to learn all of the things that we're set out to learn. And it's kind of like a karmic loop. It just goes around and around until we learn everything we're supposed to learn, until we've fulfilled our purpose. The other theory is that all of these lifetimes are happening at the same time instead of consecutively, because time is kind of a man-made construct. It doesn't really exist in spirit. So regardless of kind of which theory you believe, past life regression will work. It'll allow you to access one or more of these lifetimes that you have for a variety of different reasons. You can explore irrational fears. Say you have this fear of mice and you just have no idea. You should not be so terrified of them that you run away and jump on boxes and break your toe and things like that. It's extremely out of proportion for the size of a mouse. You could explore what past life triggered that fear so that you can release it. You can also deal with any traumas from other lifetimes. You can kind of release karmic relationships and things like that. So there are so many things you can do with past life regression, so many great uses for it.
I've just added 100 questions onto. Wow. I wonder, in your past life regressions, I'd love to know whether you can answer that now or at another time. I'd love to have you on the show again. So do our patterns of behavior in either theory, can they carry over those limiting beliefs?
Oh, absolutely. They absolutely can carry over. Just like our fears can carry over, our relationships can carry over. We've all heard of karmic relationships and kind of those toxic relationships that we can fall into, and you're just pulled to that person and you have no reason why you should be. because of the level of toxicity that exists in it. So we can absolutely bring behaviors with us, bring fears, bring people, bring attachments, all of that can carry over.
That doesn't make it sound so scary or so hard to believe or comprehend. It actually makes me more at ease and understand it better. So thank you for giving that really clear explanation, especially for people like me that haven't explored that side of spirituality. What I wanted to also ask, what are Akashic records? And I hope I pronounced that right. What are Akashic records and how do we access that?
Okay, so our Akashic records are like a big file of all of our past lives. And it's stored deep in our subconscious mind. And so in order to access those records, we have to kind of lower our brain waves and ask our conscious mind to step back. And we can do that through hypnosis.
I just imagined, I have an interest in behavioral sciences and psychology. This has been off the record or off the topic, but I really I felt like there was a similarity between what psychologists do in this lifetime, but what you're saying over a larger period of our spiritual selves or our evolving selves through many past times. And it just, I really love the way you're explaining it. And it makes a lot of sense to me. We're about to run out of time, actually. I know. I would love to have you back on the show if you'd like to. We want to ask some more questions about exploring past lives. Candice and I are holding an event on Melbourne, Australia time, August the 17th, is it, at 7:30 p.m?
Yes.
The event, thank you. The event is called Journey Through Time, Past Life Exploration. It is a bargain. We're doing a hypnosis. And look, I would like to ask you back. I won't ask you on air when you're ready to come and put you on the spot. But if you want, we are on Meetup, which is Finding Inner Peace Through Spiritual Exploration. You can sign up to that Zoom event and access your own past life and your memories, and that's self-driven but guided by Candice. So you can, head over to our Meetup, and I'd love to have Candice back to explain this a little bit further. We got short of time. Candice, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure, and I hope to see everyone there on, that's August the 17th. So thank you. Bye, everyone.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome.
Time for Soul Tea with Marie, with Antoinette Marie. Antoinette Marie. Live from AntoinetteMarie.net.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Soul Tea with Marie
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my show, Soul Tea with Marie. I have a special guest tonight, Susan. She'll be on in just a moment, but of course, I just want to say my website, if anybody wants a reading for intuitive or for mediumship reading, it's at AntoinetteMarie.net. And of course, you can find me at Instagram, Soul Tea with Marie, Facebook. And if you have any questions, you can always DM me. And I have workshops coming up in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania on the afterlife and what happens when we get to the other side. So, but enough about me. I want to introduce my very good friend, Susan. She does crystallography, and she's going to explain everything about that. So, hi, Susan.
Hello.
Or Susie. I like to call her Susie. Susan's so proper. But this is Susie, and she had her spiritual, well, I want to say you had your spiritual awakening quite a while ago, if you haven't always pretty much been awakened. I want to get into the crystallography and what you do, and my friend is also a singer, so it goes along with the crystallography. But I want to talk about your spiritual awakening first, and then we'll move into crystallography. So how did you come about being aware of what was around you and your sixth sense?
Well, I think as a child, I first remember feeling really connected to the elements, just dancing by the ocean. My grandparents had a cottage by the ocean. And I remember listening to the ocean like it was the first symphony to me. And I would sit at the piano and feel like I was writing something amazing. I'm not sure what it sounded like, but so I always kind of felt very tuned into nature and just the idea of flow, and training as a young ballet dancer also made me very aware of sort of the idea of entrainment, like being aware of energy and moving with other people in space. But I would say about the 17, I started meditating. I started listening to music in the space of what is the message that's being delivered, and thinking about music as vibration and music as healing. And I started to study martial arts and a little bit of qigong, and that started to inform a lot of the movement work I was doing. So I would say early on, and then the age of 17 really was the beginning.
I've heard your music for years now. For those who don't know, people that are watching, Susie, not only does she sing, she also writes her own music. She plays guitar. She plays the piano. She does it all. And what I have found with your music, it's almost as though you're channeling healing into your music, or you're channeling the words, and the frequency at which you sing. It's very angelic almost. It's as though the sounds and the words are coming from your higher self, and it's coming down into the earth realm, we'll say, and then it comes out of your mouth and you sing it, and it's beautiful. Would you agree, or what do you think?
Well, that is very kind of you. I actually I sang a little bit as a kid in chorus, but I actually started dreaming that people were bringing me guitars at about the age of 19. And, it would be like Jewel or like Steven Tyler, or it could be like Tori Amos and I were flying around or whoever it was. And I found a guitar in my sister's attic at the age of 19. And by the end of that night, I had already written a song. And I remember going to my first open mic, not even knowing how to play a chord on a guitar. And when I got up on stage, I felt the room. I felt everyone in the room. And even from that moment, it didn't feel like it was about me. I wanted to be singing what the room needed. And music has always felt that way to me, that um, the songs feel like sometimes they're delivered, they usually come quickly. And I'm fascinated with a line of melody and the undercurrent of frequency that carries that line, and how you can record something and then people can hear it months and years later and still feel the vibration of emotion in that music and still feel spiritually connected. And I just am eternally fascinated and in love with that process. And yeah, I mean, it often feels like it's coming from somewhere else. um, but a lot of what I'm singing now is, you know, what I would say is, just like normal folk songs, or I don't really know what style I would even classify myself as. Sometimes my voice is very bluesy, sometimes my voice is angelic. Like I'm not sure day to day, but
Yeah, no, well, I think spirit actually leads your voice or leads the music into where you're going. I want to talk about the crystallography in just a moment, but you touched on something that I don't think a lot of people talk about, but it happens to a lot of people. It's almost a taboo subject. We can channel people, or we can. So as a medium, I talk to people on the other side. I talk to loved ones, our family, friends, and then as a channeler, I also channel celebrities. They come through. They have a message that needs to be said, and then they also come in dreams. And you had said you dreamed of Jewel or Steven Tyler, and I just want to talk about that. Just talk about it for a moment. I know it's like, oh, should we really talk about that? But we're going to, because people need to hear it. When I was younger, Madonna used to come to me in a dream, and she would be, I think usually all in black, but we would go up like a hill, and there would be a bench at the top of the hill, and we would sit down. This was the dream. This is the whole dream. And she would say, "Okay, Antoinette, so where are you in your life? These are the goals that you wanted to get done, and you're not reaching them yet, or you have so much time." And so this went on and went on and went on. She used to come to me quite a few, and that would be the dream. We just meet at the bench, and she'd ask me about my life and if I was reaching the goals. And then the last dream, she said, some of these things you wanted to do, you're running out of time. And I wrote a song about it, about only having a few minutes left. And when you hear that song, it's going to resonate with you, and you're going to know your time is running out. And sure enough, she came out with the song 4 minutes. And I was like, oh no. And I never ended up going down that road that I wanted to go down. I ended up going down a different road. But I 100% believe that Joel came to you and Steven came to you. And I mean, what did they say to you?
They told me that I was from their planet. They would say to me, you're one of us. And I feel very silly saying that. But I think, Jewel is incredible because she is so herself. She is so in her spirit, and she is so connected to where she grew up and to nature. And if you read her poetry early on, I mean, she just was so connected to the earth magic, the elementals, the water, the mountains, the earth of where she grew up, and she still is. And um, she was one of the first people that came to me yeah, she just said you're one of us, and she handed me the guitar, and she said you're from our planet or something like kooky like that. But I oftentimes have dreams like that, like you, as you know. And Madonna was actually on a vision board of mine in 2001, and I actually ended up working for her maybe 5 years later. So I mean, I think that these people, I think of them as almost like, it sounds silly, but almost like modern day angels, because we hear their music again, we hear the frequency that they're out, their frequency is out there, and then I feel like that frequency can reach us at different times, like
Absolutely.
dream, or like when you hear a song in the radio. I really feel like spirit delivers music at certain times, and I try to believe that if you are in your soul and you really are here to connect with people, for me through music or whatever, that then, you know whatever you want to say, angels or spirit will then carry that to people when they need to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. And I think that the music brings healing. Even, I mean, Madonna did dance music, and you could say, oh, that wasn't the soulsy, bluesy like Bob Dylan. It didn't move you, but I think it moves certain people. Everybody hears a frequency in a different way, and every soul, every person needs a different type of I'm just gonna go with the music, but it could be books, it could be anything. Everybody resonates differently with something different. So sure, it could be Madonna, it could be Bob Dylan, it could be Jewel. Um, I believe that we're all from different planets, and yeah, if she said you're from her planet, she's probably talking about the musical planet. I know. Susie's over here like, hold on, this is not what we agreed to talk about. You're totally outing me right now. But I think this is important because there are people that are going to watch this, and they've had all these experiences, and they think they're crazy, but they're not. I think that we're all connected as one. And
Music
go ahead.
trans time. Music makes its own time.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about crystallography. What is it?
So there's an incredible goddess of water, and this woman, Vita Austin, who I found maybe under a year ago. She's doing some incredible work with water, and where she's crystallizing the water. And similar to Dr. Masaru Emoto, who measured crystallography through, Bach or Beethoven, or even a thought or sending an emotion to the water, and they would measure the crystals that formed. Vita is carrying on work like that, but she figured out a way to do this that you didn't need a fancy lab. You didn't need, certain temperature control or whatever. And I found her. Um, and the moment I found her, I knew that I was supposed to sing my songs into the water. It was like my soul was like, you need to sing your songs into the water. And the thought was, we are made largely of water. And I wanted to record a record or EP that would be the most healing for the planet at this time. So I was thinking, sing these songs into the water, maybe I'll be able to see which songs create the most extraordinary crystals, and maybe those will be the songs that I choose to put on a record. So there's a song called We Are Instruments that I had written maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and I sang this song to this little dish of water in this hotel when I was in between moving. And I froze the water. And when I took the water out of the freezer, I had sung this line, which was, we are instruments, we are not machines, we're made of nature, the stars and the trees. And this beautiful tree formed in the water. And I'm sitting in the hotel by myself, and I'm like, that's a tree. And there's a butterfly, and there's like an angel person tree. And I was really overtired, and I was just kind of like, okay. but my soul, on the other hand, was like, yes, there's the tree. And so from that point forward, I have been continuously getting images, and it's been one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen. It's like what we know about the power of the word, the power of our intention, the power of frequency, all of these things that musicians know in their heart is what I'm seeing in the water. It's almost like the water is sculpting what I'm singing about, and it's doing it in its own way. And I'm just collaborating with the water. It's like, it's tricky to explain.
It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. So take us step by step of what you do. So what type of dish? What do you mean? Is it clear? Is it colored?
Well, Vita actually teaches a course. So if people are really interested, they should check out Vita Austin as well. But I basically, you're singing into like a little dish of, like a glass dish of water,
So
and
it's a clear glass dish.
and if people see my crystallography, they'll see the water in the dish. And she teaches you, how much water to put in there, and how to do it. I think it's both sort of an intuitive thing for me about when to go get this dish of water. Um, and also the biggest thing is that remaining open, because there's a lot of times where there's been an image that is formed and I didn't see it right away, but I, took a photo of it, and like even the next morning, I'm looking at it and going, oh, there's the shape of an angel, or there's this very relevant story that had to do with the song I was. And so basically, I'm connecting with the water, and sometimes, I mean, it depends on what I'm singing. The other night I was singing something that had to do with aligning to the light, and so I was moving in ways to influence the water as well.
So
And
did you add dance to it?
I kind of did. Like,
that's awesome.
For Madonna dance, but I mean, the idea of divine flow and flow is like, has been through my whole life. And there's actually Isadora Duncan, who I call my sort of passed away mentor, used to say something like light waves, sound waves, wave waves, it's all the same. And she was very into the ocean as well. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm just with the water, and sort of praying in song to the water, and then you just let the water do its thing, because as Vita says that water is not a resource, it is source, which I think is one of the most powerful statements. And so I can't control what forms, I'm just think that since I've started doing this work, it's really made me remember, collaborate with other humans is the same way. I mean, you can't control what happens, but if you're both out of the way, that's when the magic happens.
Absolutely. You're right. I like that water is source, because we are. Aren't we 80% water?
I think more than that, actually. I don't know what the exact number is. There's varying, opinions on that, but we are largely made of water. And you think about it, when you are very happy or you're very sad and you cry salt and water. I've always been fascinated with this. And so it's like we are water. Or I think about, like, when you look in a puddle reflects you. A puddle will reflect the sky. So the fact that the water is, forming these expressions of what I'm singing about, it makes sense, And so the idea is that live water constantly updates, but when water crystallizes, it holds that frequency. So if I'm holding the line, it's holding that frequency with
you have me thinking about grief and sadness, and we cry, especially when we're grieving.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me think, is that a frequency that we're holding, and then we release it with water?
Sure. Everything is frequency, I think. I think emotions have frequency. I think that everything is frequency.
No, I agree with you. Everything is frequency. We, you know me, we live in the matrix. I want to go back just so that if anybody wants to do this crystallography at home, so that they know how to do it. So you take this glass bowl.
They should do, if they really are interested in crystallography, I'm sorry to interrupt you, is they should probably find Vita Austin.
Sure. But let's say they don't. If they just want to do it at home, they have the crystal bowl, and then I just want to know what you do. So you're at home with your crystal, and you put a little bit of water in there, and then you sing into it. Correct?
I am meditating and merging my energy with it. But you know, she is really the goddess that created this method. I just knew that when I met her, for me personally, what I felt that I was supposed to do was to see what the effect of music would have. But other people do other things. You know, other people may put a word with it. If you look at Vita's work, you can see she's done an extraordinary amount of work. She will expose the water to different things and see what forms crystal in the crystallography.
So you can do, I'm trying to think about what you said there. So you sing, and then you said you put some dance into that, and you also meditate, but some people also do words, so they just talk.
Some people will just put a word with the water. Some people will, I think everyone has a very individual relationship with it and a feeling of what they want to experience. So some people are using it for healing. Some people are, you know, just placing a word with it. I don't know what everyone's doing, but she's on Instagram and she has a whole website and everything for what she's doing. I mean, she's found similar patterns between multiple people with the same words, even similar crystallization has been formed. Yeah. So, I mean, it's incredibly fascinating. For me personally, I just felt like music was what I wanted to do. And I really, I'm in the process of putting together an EP called We Are Instruments. And it's basically about the fact that we're conscious and that we are vibration and that our words are powerful and that we are frequency and we are divine and we are human. And when I met her, I felt that that particular song was so resonant with the work that she was doing. Felt like I just met a member of the soul family, you know, and what was my contribution, basically.
With your EP, are you in the song, are you going to add any of your crystal images with it?
Well, I have multiple songs now. I mean, there's so many of them. I've written a lot of songs, and a lot of them are producing crystallography. And the crystallography always happens. It's just a matter of how clear it is, or, you know, it's if it's abstract or it's a picture. But I have multiple songs that I have crystals for, and I want to present the songs and then show the crystallography that it formed with the songs.
And I would imagine that putting them together, that there's almost a certain type of healing that comes with that.
It does. I mean, for me, honestly, I have felt like, what do I have to what do I have to give in terms of music, and what do I have to contribute? And I can't even, it's like, it's making me like verklempt, because I mean, I literally have been like, should I do music? Like, is this what I should do? And then it's, like almost asking the why, and then it's showing me these incredible things. So I'm like, okay. So, I mean, it is very healing. And my hope is that, some people may see the images and feel healing from the images. Some people may hear the song and feel healing from the song, or both. And when I used to be a dancer, we had this concept of, if you were to see the movement, or you were to hear the music, that you would feel the same way. Because I started writing music with my dancers and choreographing. So it's the same feeling of, whether someone sees the crystals or they hear the song, or both. I imagine, like, if a song could make a crystal like that, what does that song do when it's sung to another human? What does it do to the water in their body?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of my thought, of hopefully them being healing.
So if someone wants to see the crystallography that you've produced, where would we go see that? And then if the person that you said we should really check out, who is the originator, what are those two?
So Vita Austin is the person who I found. She's on Instagram. I think she's got a whole website if you look her up. And Dr. Emoto did work about this years ago. I mean, you can probably find him anywhere as well. I am at right now just at the Susan Chamberlain on Instagram. I'm still working on putting a site together, and but that's really where I'm kind of, putting out some of these images, and also posting some of my music as I'm writing it and as I'm putting together this We Are Instruments.
Right. That is awesome. Well, thank you, Susie, for being on my show. We're almost out of time.
Okay.
But for anyone that wants to check her crystallography out, please go to her website, or to her Instagram, but also her music as well. Is your song on there? We Are Instruments. Can they find that?
We Are Instruments is on there. The tree that formed is on the top of my Instagram, and there's pieces of We Are Instruments. I'm working on, putting some orchestrals and different instruments into We Are Instruments. But I try to remain as raw as possible and just show like what I actually sing to the water.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Namaste.
Listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome.
Time for New York City Celebrity Psychic with Perry Lyons. Live from Perry Lyons Brilliance.wixsite.com/Perry Lyons.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-31 147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is New York City Celebrity Psychic on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
I'm Carrie Lyons, and this is A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck Psychic TV. And welcome to Perry Lyons, New York City Celebrity Psychic. I'm very happy to see you. I can see you with my heart. And let me just adjust my kimono here. So, guys, as you probably just heard, my fabulous producer and voiceover guy, Dave Solomon, just read out all of the numbers that you can call in from wherever you are in the world: Canada, New Zealand, Australia, all of the United Kingdom, America. I'm sure there's some places I'm missing. Papua New Guinea. All right, maybe not there, but why not? So call in and I will answer your deepest, darkest, most intimate questions with our trademark accuracy, love, and more accuracy, which pretty much, that's what we care about here. So I'm Perry Lyons, New York City Celebrity Psychic. And you're you, which is a very good thing to be. You are my cherished ducklings. And what are we going to talk about today as we're starting off? I'm going to do the psychic tarot weather in a minute, which is going to foretell the sort of psychic weather for the week. There's a huge sort of super full moon just kind of ending tonight. It's in Aquarius. So since Aquarius is kind of a forward-looking, freedom-loving sign, if you find yourself, I don't know, randomly starting a small, tasteful religion or acting in ways that are more free than you're used to, it's the moon. I'm not sure that will hold up in court, but it's worth a try. So, let's see, what else? We were earlier last week, which is earlier because this week is this week and last week was last week. I'm stone cold sober too. It's kind of a pity. We were talking about psychics in history. We talked about the Fox sisters who founded spiritualism. We talked about the Oracle of Delphi, who advised kings and queens and empresses, and used to do her readings. By her, I mean there were about 20 of them in a row because it was an inherited position. Either that or you auditioned. Maybe it's sort of like, well, I'm trying to think how you would audition for that. Anyway, the Oracle of Delphi was a very famous oracle of ancient times who was consulted by kings and queens and famous generals. And she would issue her proclamations while suspended in a hammock over a fissure in a crack in the earth, out of which leaked naturally created sort of, how can I put this, hallucinogenic and psychogenic gases. She also drank a lot, and she had a, maybe she didn't, that's what history says, I don't want to slander her. Kimono check, hold on, there we go. Woo. All right. She also had a little charcoal brazier filled with hallucinogenic and psychotropic, that's our word for the week, psychotropic herbs. So the fact that she could say anything, frankly, was kind of impressive. And this week, just going to touch briefly on the role of intuition in things like science and history, which is going to be more interesting than it sounds, because that's how the bones of King Richard III, who lived in the 14th century, I guess, which is the 1300s, were found in about 15 years ago in a supermarket parking lot. No, nobody had thrown them out of the window. There was a group of archaeologists who knew that he was buried around there somewhere, but by somewhere, I mean like a half-mile radius. And, that's a lot of places to start digging randomly. But one of the archaeologists had this sudden intuitive, we'll say sort of psychic, air quotes, flash. And she said, over there. She pointed to this sort of, they were in the parking lot at Tesco, which is an English supermarket, and they started digging, and there he was. I guess turned out to be Richard III, famous hunchback king. We're not sure if he, that sounds a little politically incorrect. So, but that's what he was known as in his time. There are also a lot of examples from science history about how, for instance, various great scientists came up with huge intuitive flashes, but we'll get onto that next week. This week, I'm briefly going to tell a ghost story, do the psychic weather, and you guys are going to call in, which you're already doing, which I love you for. Thank you for doing that. Okay. So briefly, I'm just thinking about it because today is the anniversary of when this took place. It was August. I grew up in an 1830 sort of converted farmhouse in Valley Cottage, New York. It's now a shrine. No, I'm kidding. But feel free to make a pilgrimage or just send me money. So I was 13 or 14, 13, and this was back in the days when usually houses just had one or two really efficient air conditioners, not like now. And I was sleeping in the top floor in the attic room. It had the best air conditioner, not in my room. I never liked going into that room as a kid because it always had this really kind of, how can I put this? Kind of, well, creepy. It had a creepy vibe. My older brothers slept up there. They were all off at college. So I was sleeping in this room, which I didn't usually do. And I woke up at about 3 a.m, don't know why, and standing next to my bed was a woman. She was about 5'1". I knew she wasn't my mom because my mom had blonde hair and was tall, and this woman had very straight, dark black hair parted in the middle. Also, she was wearing sort of an 1845 dress, like you see in sort of old movies about pre-Civil War times. Went all the way to the ground. It was black and white. And also, my mom's not see-through, and this woman was. And she just stood there for about 3 minutes, right next to my bed. I wasn't scared at the moment. That's the thing about seeing a ghost. I don't know about you, but if you've ever seen a ghost, you'll know that you're usually not scared when it's happening. Afterwards is when you freak out a little. That's okay. So she stood next to my bed, and her energy was very kind of like, how can I put it? Her energy was kind of like, I have to tell you something. I have to tell you something really important. And I sort of went, what? She said, I have to tell you something. I have to tell you something really important. She had really sort of sad, needy, crazy energy. Kind of like party I was at about a few years ago, when very crowded party in New York City. And I stopped to ask some young lady the directions to the ladies' room. She started desperately telling me about her breakup. Kind of the same energy, except she wasn't see-through either, but this one was. So she just stood there and stared at me for 4 minutes and then disappeared from the ground up, like that. So I got up, looked around. There's nobody in the room. And I went downstairs to go get some milk and cookies, because when you're 13, milk and cookies are very comforting. Actually, very comforting at any age. And my mother was up. My mother was a very serious kind of, she was an Ivy League history professor, very serious intellectual. And I said, she'd woken up because she heard me walking around. She said, why are you up? And I said, Mom, I just saw a ghost. She said, oh, darling, which is how she talked. Oh, darling, no, you didn't. And that was a hallucination created by a storm between the hemispheres of your brain. I'm like, uh-huh. I said, Mom, it was a ghost. She said, well, was she about 5'1" with very long dark hair parted in the middle and sort of a black and white 1845 long dress on? I said, why, yes, she was. Why, yes, she was. And she said, oh, darling, she doesn't exist. I've walked through her twice in the second floor. So that's one of my true ghost stories. I have a lot of them, unfortunately. Anyway, so please call in. We've got some callers waiting, but I like reading for as many people as possible. So, oh, Catherine, there you are in Denver,
Hello.
Colorado.
Hello.
Hi, sweetheart. I'm just going to quickly do the psychic weather. So, while I'm doing sort of the tarot psychic weather, I'm going to ask you to think about your question and to breathe in this way. I want you to breathe in deeply and then breathe out slowly like you're blowing out a birthday candle like this. It's not very dignified, but it activates the vagus nerve. I'll be about 2 minutes. So Catherine, I love that name, with a K. So I'm going to ask you to just do that for about 3 minutes while I do the psychic weather. And then you, my darling, are the focus of my very existence. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool. Nice to hear your voice. Okay. Oh, so the psychic weather goes like this. There is a card for the first part of the week starting today. Well, that's the next 2.5 days. Then there's a card for the middle of the week. So that's kind of over the weekend. And then there's a card for the end of this week. So like Monday, Tuesday, beginning of Wednesday. Are we cool? All good? Good. Okay. Oh, all right. Oh, that's interesting. The week starts out a little rocky, which I'm not surprised. There is a full moon. People get cranky. Why is this blurry? I'm just going to put it here. Ta-da! So this card is, it's funny, I don't, it's like my phone just suddenly got like myopic or something. So this card is the Five of Wands. Now the Five of Wands can often mean that you're jockeying for position in some way. It can mean that you're kind of maybe having some bumps at work, or you're getting maybe just starting a new job, or in your office or your workplace, you might be having a little bumpy time because 5 is a number of change. And when you're making sort of a good change, often things around you kind of get a little up in the air. People get a little, how can I put this? People get a little cranky. So you might be fighting for position. The good news is you're going to win. And you might be offered something, because this is another card. I'm going to put it here. It's the Four of Cups. Ta-da! And as you'll see, the Four of Cups is a guy sitting under a tree, and he is being offered a golden cup from a cloud. And he's looking at the 3 golden cups he has in front of him, and he's saying, sure, I'd like another golden cup, but I'm a little, can you come back next week? And so this is about, you might be offered an opportunity this week. I love doing that. Where it might seem like it's something that you thought you wanted. I'm getting all pixelated here, not me personally, the screen. But you might feel like, you know what, I'm going to wait for the next time this opportunity comes around. My advice is, if you get offered something good this week, just take it. Even if you're too sleepy, or if it's Tuesday, or if you don't feel like it, or you have to put the cat out, just take the opportunity. It's going to work out really well for you. And the last card towards the end of the week, it's a wonderful card. It's a Healing Triumph. Ta-da! Healing Triumph card. As you can see, the guy is riding a horse who's covered with what seems to be a green tablecloth. What this represents is healing. It represents he's riding home from a battle that has not been fought with swords. There's no bloodshed. He's riding home from a battle about honor and glory. And so it means that something, especially something healing that you might have been battling with for a long time, is really going to work out for you. And P.S., you're going to get a lot of sort of mad respect from those around you. So let's see. So the week starts out, if it seems like it's a little rocky at the beginning this week, it's going to be fine. You're just actually making a change for the better. And sometimes when we change for the better, as the writer Henry Miller said, when you exceed your known expectations, do not expect the approval of family or friends. Middle of the week is you're going to be offered something you might not feel like taking it. Take it anyway. It's going to be really good for you. And at the end end of the week, you're having a healing triumph with a lot of respect and appreciation. Thank you. Yay. That's our Psychic Weather Week. Catherine, are you still there, my angel?
Hello. I am. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to speak with you.
Oh, I was so happy to hear your voice. Such a nice voice.
Thank you.
And I like
Grateful.
it's true. I like to connect people through their birthdays. So if you could possibly tell me when your birthday is. You don't have to tell me the year.
April 11th.
Oh, we love Aries in this show. Aries women. Yes.
Oh, good. Good.
So, okay, my dear.
Yes.
No, really, I just adore Aries women. But the thing about you guys is, it can be. Mark Twain once said, "If you want to be lonely, tell the truth." And if you ask an Aries, especially Aries woman, a question, just make sure that you're ready to hear the truth, because you guys don't mess around. And I love that about you. So how can I help you today?
That's so true.
I know, right?
Thank you. I have a couple of concerns, if you don't mind. I am concerned about my financial world. I've been laid off. Well, I got forced into early retirement for the job that I love. I've attempted another career and got laid off recently, and so I'm curious about my career path, my financial stability, and the love of my life. And lastly, I've been in the hospital for 2 weeks. I'm just getting really frustrated because I'm supposed to be sent to a rehab hospital the last 4 days in a row. I keep getting denied by the insurance. I'm just getting really frustrated sitting here. Like, I just want to go home desperately, and I just don't know what to do. So I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit. And I usually take antidepressants and anti-anxiety medicine. They haven't been giving me any since I got admitted about two and a half, almost 3 weeks ago. So mentally, I'm kind of having a little bit of a breakdown as well.
Oh, sweetheart. First of all, it's funny because it almost seems like the tarot weather for this week applies to you. You are going to be out of the. You're in the hospital, you said, right?
Currently, yes.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. But absolutely, I spent so much time in the hospital, and it's no fun. And besides, what is with the food? Like last time I was there, dinner was like, they said it was a hamburger, but I'm like, no, this is fried gorilla heart. I'm sorry, I don't eat fried gorilla heart. The good news is that I feel, yeah, you had a string of really crappy luck, and I'm really sorry. What's interesting is neither of the layoffs had anything to do with you. It had to do with the kind of the company wasn't doing well. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. You do have. Are you? Do you do something related to design, graphic arts, or something like that? I mean, problem is I'm seeing you working on a computer, but that's
22 years in aviation. No, I spent
okay.
22 years in aviation, got forced to early retirement after I had a stroke, and then I started working in the financial industry. After 9 months, I was laid off again. Because I'm trying to rebuild myself in so many ways. It's just kind of flailing.
But one of my close friends here works in aviation. I understand why I got graphic, because I was seeing a blueprint of a plane, but I thought it was like you were designing that. So, first of all, I'm really sorry. Second, let me pick a couple cards for you here. And I really mean that. Okay. It feels too like there's going to be, I think you might have experienced, you said you had a stroke, which really is just, that's such a terrible thing to go through. And I love how totally non-self-pitying you are. You have such a wonderful way of just kind of being in this situation and you're not complaining, you're just stating the facts. And that's such an unusual and beautiful quality. So,
to be honest with you, in
good for
2017, I was brought back from a flatline twice. I was pronounced dead twice in 2017. And I was told I had 1% chance of living. If I lived, I would never walk, talk, or feed myself again. So I'm blessed to be alive as it is.
Oh my God, you're a living miracle. I've had a near-death experience too. Well, we have a lot in common, and I really feel for you. What I really feel, and I'm not just saying this to make you feel better, because if you watch the show, I don't really do that. First card I'm getting is the Hierophant card, and this is it's a weird word. What it actually means, I'm putting it there so you can see it. What the Hierophant card means is that there's some sort of government or institutional or some sort of financial protection coming in for you. You might not be aware of it, but there's something.
I've applied for disability and been denied.
Oh, what? I'm going to go get them.
Yeah,
You
denied
stay
twice,
here.
even though I have a letter from my primary care physician saying I have a permanent disability.
Oh, darling. This is a lot.
Yeah, it's been a lot lately.
One thing, yeah, no, this is that's. I mean, you make Job look like an amateur, and I'm sorry because you're a lovely person. I'm very sorry you have to go through this. This is something I've said before, and people have called me and said, "Thank you, I got a lot of money out of this." If you go to your state's website, like I'm in New York, I go to newyork.gov and go to the comptroller's office and look for unclaimed funds, unclaimed property. It's amazing what you can get. I got 10 years ago, I got $16,000 out of that, but I had no idea. No idea.
Wow, that would change my world right now. Like I'm in an overdraft situation in my bank account. Anything would change my life right now.
So I would try that. Go to I forget what state you're calling from because I have the attention span of a
I'm in Colorado.
duckling.
So go to Colorado and look for unclaimed assets.
Yeah, go to Colorado. Thank you. Yeah, go to Colorado .gov. Go to the comptroller. Okay. It just unclaimed funds. It's free. All you have to do is submit, some papers essentially proving you're you, which you are. I can tell. So that's because I'm getting the Hierophant card. I'm also thinking that there are pension funds that you don't know you have.
Oh God.
The last thing.
That'd be amazing.
Because the heart. Yeah, I would do some research, and if you're not up to it, go on something like Fiverr and hire a kid to work for you for $10 an hour. Okay, 20. And to do some of this stuff for you because you need all your energy for healing. But the unclaimed funds thing is really easy. That takes 5 minutes. I just get the feeling that there is money you don't know about. The other thing is you are an extremely proud person and you never ask for help. You don't. I know this about you. And I'm right.
Kind of areas like I'm like true I am. Like I'm gonna do myself no matter what you tell me. Like and it made me. I'm a recovered drug addict, and it made me really great. Drug addicts like tell me no, I'm gonna do it twice anyway.
Yeah, friend of Bill's. I hear you. Oh, I love that. God, you are so strong. The second card I got for you is it's the World card. This is an unusual deck, but what it says is, "Good morning, the world awaits you." So, I take it from somebody who have been in I had traumatic brain injury. I couldn't speak for a year.
We have a lot in common. I have a traumatic brain injury as well. I was brain dead for a couple hours. I have a lot of residual brain death. So.
Well, what I'm getting is that the year 2024 is your year. And you are just get through the next 2 weeks because there is money coming in. There are also the reason I said that thing about you not asking for help is there are a lot of people who want to help you. A lot of people who really care about you. You're really, really giving, and you never ask for anything in return. It doesn't even occur to you, and don't even try denying that because I know that's true. So
yeah, without a doubt.
If worse comes to worse, you have an ex-husband out there somewhere?
No, I've never been married. I'm 44 years old. Been single my entire life, and I've always wanted to be, in a typical way, so be a wife. Oh God bless you.
Oh, you've got a long life ahead of you too.
I have a partner that I'm with now.
Wow, you've got at least 25 years. The reason I said there's somebody who you were involved with for a while. It's got kind of a this relationship has kind of a marriage energy to it, so it might be kind of a soulmate energy to it. This is somebody who really wants to. There's somebody from your past. Yeah, does that work? Yeah.
There's somebody I've been with about almost 5 years now. And he's in the middle of getting out of a very abusive relationship, but he is, without a doubt, the love of my life. We always joke around that our love is written in the stars.
Oh, I think, yeah, no, he is the love of your life. And luckily, because this doesn't always happen this way, you're the love of his. So, always like to be asked for help. Well, people who love you like to be asked for help. So, we've got 2 minutes. So I'm going to say, yeah.
He's literally saved my life. Like a couple of times, literally. I had a stroke on the airplane. He was with me on the airplane. He saved my life. So.
He's always going to be the person. Yeah. I love that he did that. And I love that you something I've never said to somebody on the show before, and I've been doing this for 5 years. Girl, you're here for a reason. If only to inspire other people. You've gone through so much. Believe me, as somebody who, I can't, you and I have a lot more in common than I'm going to go into in public, but.
So we should just be sitting down to have a glass of wine together.
Well, in my case, maybe a glass of milk.
That'd be fine too.
I would love that. But I'm on Facebook. I'm Perry Lyons, PERILYONS, because we only got 60 seconds. What I'd like you to do is reach out to me, and I'm going to give you a little free time on me. So reach out to me. I'm going to give you a bit of a free reading because you deserve it. And also, there's something I'm getting for you that I don't have time to tell you, but it's really encouraging. So basically what I'm going to say here is you're going to be with that guy. You're supposed to be, and you are going to be okay. There's going to be money coming in within 2 weeks, but get in touch with me on Facebook, okay? And
will you spell your last name one more time, please?
Oh, sure. My first name is Perry, P is pneumonia, E-R-I, like Periwinkle. My last name is Lyons, Lyons. If you go to my website, perrylyons.com, yeah, please do. And
I will first.
I've got 10 seconds, so I'm going to send you my love. And I just want to let you know it's going to be okay. It really is. I don't say that if I don't mean it. And I have a really high accuracy rate. Love you.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. Time for New York City Celebrity Psychic with Perry Lyons. You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. Time for Understanding Spirit with Mary Shapano. Live from MaryVCircles.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Understanding Spirit on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello everyone and welcome to A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. This is Understanding Spirit. I'm your host, Mary. While I'm waiting to see if any callers coming through today, I'm going to continue with our conversation last week with auras. The aura is a very complex energy system, and it does connect with the physical body and our spiritual existence as well. It's very important to control your aura, because we have to learn to protect ourselves with it, and also to control the energy around it with whatever's going on at the time. Sometimes you sense somebody coming very close to you, and you might not be happy with the energy that's coming through from that person. So that's what's happening on the outside. You know, the whole body is an energy field, an energy system. So, and then also internally, we have, the energy that is running through our body, flowing through our body continuously. There are ways to learn about your aura as well. There's an exercise that you can do if you're trying to develop. You can just get a person to sit on a chair and just sense their aura around them, just with your hands. Okay. Now I feel like we've got a caller coming through. I think it's Suzette. Suzette, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Where are you
good.
from?
How are you? I'm from Barrie, Ontario.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. You are my first caller on this show. I'm a little bit nervous. So I'm going to try and muddle through, and hopefully I can give you everything that you need today. How can I help you today, Suzette?
I was wondering if you see any career opportunities opening up for me.
Okay. All right. So you're just after a psychic reading today?
Pardon?
You're after a psychic reading today about your life?
Oh, yes. A psychic reading for me, yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll just have a look.
Hi.
I feel, Suzette, that you've actually got a lot of opportunities, right? I feel like if you just kind of take a moment to just sort of look at your opportunities, you'll realize that you have a lot more than you think. Does that make sense to you?
No, because I haven't applied for anything, and I was just trying to figure out which direction to go in.
Yeah, that's okay. If you just, I think that you, it doesn't matter if you haven't applied for anything just yet. If you have a look at your options, you'll see that you have a lot of options for you. I also see that you may need to do a little bit of studying. I see it being more like online or a short course of something to get your foot in the door.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was looking to become a Pilates instructor.
Sorry, a body what?
A Pilates instructor?
Okay, all right. So have you studied for that yet?
No, there's an opportunity to study for it in September.
Okay, beautiful. All right. So I feel like that is a good direction for you to go in. I do feel that you are also quite interested in the body. I feel like you could also like veer off from Pilates as well and be an instructor for other things too, anything regarding the body. So you're going to have more choices. All right. Are you interested in bodybuilding or teaching and instructing that at all?
I am.
Yeah, because I can see you being successful in that area too.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
because I was looking at holistic nutrition as well.
Yeah, my guide's giving you three ticks for that. I'm also seeing like juices and that with you, like especially a green one, anything that has like kale, you know, spinach, all those kind of things. And I feel like that's something that you would recommend for people as well. Are you juicing already for yourself?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like
Because I
toying
feel
around
like
with
when
my
you
own
start,
stuff.
yeah, because I feel like you'll start to try a few different ones and then you'll be recommending them also to any clients that you have. But I do see that anything that goes the natural sort of way is good for you. I am also being told by my guide that down the track, not straight away, but down the track, as you sort of like get your foot in the door and that, I also see potentially this is something that you can produce yourself, your own line of like juices and that, but I don't see like a big selection. I see like maybe like 5, 6 kind of different kinds of flavors, but this is in the future. It's not right now. I just feel like at the moment you've got to do your studying and kind of get your foot in the door and start. I'm also getting like yoga for you as well. Are you interested in teaching yoga? Because I see like the whole spiritual side coming in as well, and a lot of breathing techniques.
I am actually. I was looking at that as well, and I wanted to do it with kids.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's actually really good for children to learn how to center themselves. I feel my guide's showing me when she was saying that you have a lot of choices. This is what she was talking about. So like the Pilates, where you're wanting to start, the yoga, bodybuilding, all those kind of things, the nutrition, right? I just see like once you start, the floodgates just kind of really open up for you regarding all this stuff.
Oh.
It's just getting the start
Oh.
right, just starting off.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. It's just getting yourself in the right place, around the right people. She's telling me just make connections constantly. I feel like you have a very bubbly personality, and that people are drawn to you naturally because of it. So I feel like it would be very easy to kind of network around this. Does that make sense? Do you resonate with that?
Yeah, I'm like that. Yeah, I'll talk to everybody.
Yeah, beautiful. You're lovely. You're my kind of person. I talk to everyone too.
Oh, thank you.
And that's what we need more of, in the world. So I just see that that is. Yeah, go on, Suzette.
Do you see writing a book?
So reading a book.
No, writing a book, a kid's book.
Oh, for you, yes. I can see you doing that 100%. All right. And okay, my guide's giving you, I don't have too much time, but my guide's giving you some direction with this. And remember, Spirit can just give you suggestions. You don't have to do what Spirit says. You do have free will. But I see that the book is a spiritual book. It's kind of camouflaged in a kid's story, but you're teaching spirituality and exercise and how to open up and connect for kids to learn how to do it, and just to open up and go from three-dimensional kind of thinking into four-dimensional thinking and appreciation of spirit in their early years. But my guide is saying make sure that you incorporate protecting with the white light, placing the ribbon of white light around them, and also placing themselves in a bubble of white light. But she is giving me a 3 thumbs up for that. So definitely work on it. And I feel like Spirit is going to guide you along the way with all of this as well. I hope that's helped you today, Suzette.
It has. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome. Good luck with everything. All right, and I wish you all the best with your career.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate this.
You're very, very welcome. Take care.
You too.
All right, bye. All right. Well, I wish her all of luck. Everything that I was seeing was so great for her. Enjoy your day. Bye.
A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for the Wendy McCallum Show with Wendy McCallum. Wendy McCallum. Live from divineintuition.co.uk.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is the Wendy McCallum Show
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, good evening, and welcome
My name's Wendy McCallum. I'm a psychic medium from Surrey in the UK, and I'm originally from Kilmarnock in Ayrshire in Scotland. You are watching A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV, so thank you so much for joining me this evening. So I thought I would talk to you a little bit about the dark night of the soul tonight, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a generic reading or a collective reading, shall we say. Okay, so to save time, I just pulled some cards, and it's actually quite exciting. I get really excited about this. So what is the dark night of the soul? What does it mean? The dark night of the soul is when you're going through a very, very difficult situation, and the way that I see it, or the way that I feel it, or know it, is it's almost like we have a saying here in England or Scotland, or you can't see the wood for the trees. It's almost like you get consumed, yeah, and you just seem to lose yourself for a little bit. So normally, dark night of the soul is kind of, it starts by having had a difficult situation or a traumatic situation or some difficulties that you're experiencing and you're trying to get through. So, for example, it could be the loss of a loved one. It could be the breakdown of a marriage. It could be a diagnosis of an illness or a terminal illness. It could be that you've had, like myself, like a near-death experience where you've been critically ill in hospital, and then you're out trying to recover, and then all of a sudden it's just kind of like, well, what is this all about, you know? And it's almost like I feel that the majority of people on a spiritual journey, whether you're spiritual or whether you're psychic or whether you're medium, but we go through ups and downs. Excuse me, we go through ups and downs. And these ups and downs is really necessary for a spiritual evolution, and it helps us find a purpose. So when we start going through this dark night of the soul, it's almost like nothing makes sense anymore. There is no purpose. There's no purpose to anything. And it can be really, really hard, because I can feel as I'm beginning to talk about this how much it's actually connecting with me, you know, and actually you end up being in this pretty bleak place where you begin to shut yourself away from the world, and you shut yourself away from those that you love, and those that want to help you. But unless you actually make them aware that you're going through a difficult situation, then they can't help you. But what this is, it's kind of like a spiritual awakening, and it's almost like Eckhart Tolle talks about this as well, so you'll find quite a bit about it on his website. You're going to have to excuse me, I've got a little chica dog, yeah, my little fluff puff, yeah, and she's crying because she wants up in the chair beside me, so she's not going to stop until she gets up there. Shall I just show you my little chica? Hold on, let me just show you. That's my little chica dog, yeah. So she likes to be included in everything that we're doing, so I do apologise, but she wouldn't have let me continue with introducing her, so I hope you like her. Anyway, this is about spiritual awakening, and it's almost like you've got to go through like the death of the ego, yeah, to get through this spiritual journey. It's like it's about breaking away from what we know and what we feel, and then it's shifting into it's just shifting alignment and shifting our values and shifting our beliefs, and it's almost like what we believed doesn't make sense anymore, yeah. So then it's about finding your purpose, and really it's kind of like when I talk about the ego to me is the personality self, yeah. And the ego is the thing that holds us back from everything, or it creates the problems. It's your mind. It's like the part of you that says, no, you're not good enough, no, I can't do that, no this, no that, you know. And it's about having to let go of that ego to begin to find yourself. And they reckon that there's 6 stages to going through this. The first one is disruption, which is the triggering event, which would be the reason why that you feel lost, and then you feel that you've lost your sense of direction and you lost your sense of hope. And I know that that sounds quite depressing and low. You hit rock bottom and then you feel isolated, you feel you've got no friends. And also depression comes into this as well. So sometimes depression can come in alongside this. And then you begin to wake up again, because you then begin to see that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and actually your beliefs have changed. You know, what was important to you before, you realise is really not that important anyway. So just like for an example, for use of better words, you know, when I was in hospital, I nearly died, and things were important to me, material things, and you just realise that actually material things are of no value whatsoever, that people are so precious and valuable, and you know that life is so short that you just, if I passed away, would I feel fulfilled? You know, the things that were not important to you, your perceptions change on them. Now, please may I say that if you are struggling with depression and things like that, there is the Samaritans out there that you can phone, and I believe the Samaritans is also in America, it's in the UK. Please speak to your GP or your doctor. You know, there's places like Step Change that help you with finances. There's grief counselling there, you know, and also good psychics and mediums, you know, can actually help you move through these things. You know, what do you do when you're going through this? There's no point talking about it and then not giving you the help that you need to get through it. So for me, it's been like trying to find positives when I'm feeling really flat and really low. So like gratitude, you know, like I'm so grateful for my little cheeky dog, you know, she's the little thing that cheers me up every day. She's one of my reasons to get up out of bed, my reason to walk, you know. You feel, when you go through the dark night, you feel disconnected from your soul, disconnected for your spiritual journey. So try and connect back to nature. So like go for that walk, ground yourself. We spoke about grounding the other week and how important it is. If you haven't seen that, maybe you should watch the previous show, yeah. Do you know what? Do things to cheer yourself up. Switch off the news, the gloom, doom, and despair, and then bring some things in that make you happy, that make you smile, and find little things to be grateful for. And initially, it's really quite hard, but you will get there. Crystals that are able to help you with this is black tourmaline. So we've got some black tourmaline here, and we've got some black obsidian. So like something like this, because that can absorb negativity. Get a little bit of a bracelet like this. These are great. And do you know what? Sometimes selenite's great as well. So I've got a selenite tower here. Selenite's great for helping you connect spiritually, and sit and meditate, you know, meditate on it and find your way forward. And always one of my favourites ever is lovely rose quartz. Always have a bit of rose quartz and tell yourself you're loved. Believe that you're loved, because you are loved, okay? I know so many people going through this at the minute. I know that it's a bit of a, as I say, depressing subject to talk about, but I feel it's an important thing to talk about, because you do get through it and you can get through it. And I always say tomorrow is another day. You might be feeling low today, but something might bring some joy into your life tomorrow. So you never know exactly what's going to happen. So look, I pulled a few cards on this, and the first card that I pulled out was this lovely card, and it says the Muse, yeah, but basically this card is about finding things to bring that joy into your life. So it can be sparking your creativity, doing your meditation, just doing things that will generally make you feel uplifted, art, music. Do you know what I did the other day? Yeah, I look like a crazy lady. I put Pharrell Williams' Happy on, right, up full blast, yeah, and I danced about the house like nobody was watching. Well, nobody was watching, and I hope none of the neighbours seen. But you know what? Little things like that really uplift your soul and make you feel so much better when you're feeling flat or low. This next card is about conflict. It's about conflict between your inner world and your outer world, and it not feeling quite balanced, yeah? And you know, as you go through this and meditate and you do these things, then you're finding the balance back in. And this lovely card come out, Archangel Michael, and that's about giving you the strength. And always remember to invite your angels in to help you. They don't come unless you invite them to help. They don't interfere in your life. So always invite your angels in. So there's Archangel Michael, and then there's Archangel Raphael for the healing that you need at this time. And it's almost like this new journey is opening up. This new journey is opening up. And there is a meeting of two. Now, this might be, it says a fated meeting on this card, yeah, but it feels like it's an important new relationship. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a love relationship. It could be a business relationship or a new relationship going forward that helps you put business into practice, you see. And this again, because I can't get the card off the table. The card actually says views of the ego. So it's about letting the ego go, letting the ego self go, yeah, to embrace the new, embrace these opportunities. And I just want to keep going on about this lovely new journey that's opening up for you. Yeah, it just feels wonderful. Sometimes, my lovely friends, we've got to go through the dark to find the light. And you know what, when you go through the dark, and when you're going through the dark, you actually find that, oh my goodness, there's just so much more out there. There's just so much more to it than what we know. We're only scratching the surface with things. So let the cards speak. Invite Archangel Michael in to help you through these difficult times. Archangel Raphael to get the healing. Use your lovely crystals for your grounding and absorbing that negativity. And you know what, get out into nature. Invite your lovely friends in and give yourself a purpose, because there is a purpose. You are being brought on this earth and you're a very special being. And there's very special things coming up for you. You just have to be brave and take that step forward.
Listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for your time to shine with Julie Yeager Walker. Yeager Walk, live from Wings of Souls with Julie.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is your time to shine
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Your Time to Shine, a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts. Good evening and welcome to the show this evening. I'm so happy to have you. Hope you are all doing well on this first few days of August. It's hard to believe that we are halfway through our year, halfway through our summer. It's crazy. You know, the thing that is really fantastic is my good friend Melinda and I have announced our retreat. We are having a retreat in Bonnyville, Alberta, Canada, October 15th or 14th and 15th. So excited to have this opportunity to do this for the healing aspect of it and the meditations and all the great things that are going to come about from this retreat. We have it posted on our websites, and you can find more information about this retreat and how to sign up and get your tickets to be at this event at wingsofsoulswithjulie.com. And at the top, you will see it is listed as Angel Within Retreat. And there you can find all the details to buy tickets and know exactly where it's going to be located and some of the great things that we're going to be doing during that time. So do check it out on my website. And you can also reach out to me on my Facebook page, Julie Yeager Walker Medium, and I can help you out there. I've got it posted there as well. So I was sitting down before the show and I was doing a little bit of journaling, and it's always really interesting what comes through. When I sit down to journal, I just ask what it is that I am needing to know. And as I'm journaling and writing and things are coming through, I went, wow, this is what I need to share with other people. And I got a big yes. So because I really can't remember what I wrote down because I was journaling, because it was coming through, not coming from me, I'm going to read a little excerpt of what I wrote because it's so interesting. People talk about how, you know, you shouldn't live in the past. And believe me, I am all about not living in the past, living and looking towards the future and what I have right now in the present. However, what came through was really interesting, and it brought in some really fantastic awareness. And it also has to do with some of the things that I realized over the weekend. So it's all tying together. But what I was shown and what I was told is, see how far you have come. Oh, excuse me, hold on here. You must look back to see how far you have come before you can embrace the growth and see where you have been. It's not bad to reflect on your past, your experiences, and your journey. Just don't reside there. Don't unpack your bags and get comfortable. Get comfortable with getting uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is growth, expansion, and learning. So I thought that was really interesting. It's okay to reflect back on your past, just don't live there, right? So many of us are so into getting through the past, letting it go. And even that is true for me, right? Get through the past, learn from it, and then let it go. And so you can move on. This weekend, my husband and I went out on the Tualatin River here in the Portland area, and it's the first time that we've taken the kayaks out for 3 years. Now, some of you may know that our house had a water leak, which turned into some mold, which turned into really toxic mold. And our entire family got really, really sick from it, even our pets, and we had to move out and leave. So it's taken about 3 years for me to get through all of this. 3 years ago, we took the kayaks out and I could barely make it for an hour. And if you know me, I used to be an avid paddler, a dragon boater. I could be out there for many hours doing that type of thing. So when we went out this weekend, we were out there for about 3 hours and paddled up the river and then back. And we was probably about 8 miles that we traveled in that 3 hours. And yes, I was tired, but not in the way that it was 3 years ago. And so it made me stop and realize, wow, I've really come a long ways. All of the things that I'm doing is working and I'm seeing the results. Just may not be as quickly as I would hope for, but it really gave me the understanding of looking back so that I could reflect on where I've been and where I'm headed. And that was all that was being brought through to me tonight as I sat here and journaled. And it's so important for all of you to also take a look and reflect, where were you 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, to where you are now? And what types of things can you look at and say, wow, look how far I've come. Look at the progress I have made. And look at the things that I have learned and the leaps and the bounds that I have taken. Because if we can't be in the awareness of how far we've come, recognize that and pat ourselves on the back, all of it feels as if it's for nothing. And so it's really important for us to give ourselves the credit where credit is due and take a look at how far we really have come. Because I'm sure for a lot of you, like me, you have really come a very long way. You just haven't stopped to think about it, to be in awareness, or reflect back on the past. So take a moment and do that. Do that for yourself. Give yourself that allowance to be able to do that and to be in that gratitude and be in that pure joy of, wow, this is my journey and this is where I've come from. And give yourself a big, big hug because you deserve it. All right. We are going to go to the phone lines right now. And we have Sherry in West Haven, Connecticut. Good evening, Sherry, and welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Hi, thank you, and thank you for taking my call tonight.
Absolutely. What can I do for you this evening?
Now, I'm not sure if I can ask a question. Can I do that?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay, because I wasn't sure what type of reading it was, if it was something different. Sometimes they do different readings. I've been working on myself for about 8 years, so I've been out of the limelight, so to speak, as far as dating goes. And I'm ready to meet somebody nice. I'm just ready to do it, and I'm wondering if you can tell me if there's going to be anybody special in my life coming along.
So Sherry, it's really interesting as you're talking, I'm seeing all this cheering going on behind you. You have a lot of support and they are cheering you on and they are saying, yes, she recognizes how much work that she has put in to herself and honoring herself. And they want you to know that's fantastic and that you've really done an amazing job of doing all of that. And so first and foremost, they want to make sure that you are recognizing that and giving credit where credit is due. And they're saying, yes, finally, we're ready to get back into the saddle and do this again. So they're showing me that because you have taken all this time to work on you, and you've really grown and taken that time, that the person that you are asking to attract into your life is going to be there more so than had you not taken the time to do all of that, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're showing me is that because of all the work, there is someone who is coming into your life. They're saying it's going to be just a little bit more time before that person shows up, but most definitely they are recognizing the fact that you're ready for this, that you're ready for the next step. They're asking you to look at the type of person that you want to show up in your life. And so sitting down with that and writing out some of the things that you are hoping to find in a significant other, right? And then do the visualization, right? The manifestation of that piece of it. So then that person, so they're showing me it's like that person's energy and your energy can align, okay? And for them to be able to come in easier for you. You've kind of thought about the type of person that you want, but you haven't they're asking you to take it a step further, okay? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so it's going to be something that I have to manifest, actually, correct?
Yes. But what they're saying is just get very clear on what it is that you're looking for.
Okay.
Because if we don't get clear on what it is, then somebody could come in and you go, okay, so why is this person entering my life right now, right? So it's about getting very clear about some of those attributes, right? That is important because you've learned from past relationships, right?
Right.
And it's about, saying, okay, well, I know what I don't want, right? So then
yeah, I can give you a list of that. Yeah.
Exactly. So then get clear on what it is that you really are asking for and looking for. Okay.
Okay. And I'm just wondering, could that person already be around me, or is it going to be somebody you think brand new?
I don't think you know this person yet. They keep showing me pictures of outdoors and hiking, like being with a group of people and hiking. Are you with a group or somebody that does that type of activity?
Not yet. I'm not. No. I mean, I have friends I go out to eat with and stuff, but no, we haven't hiked or anything.
Okay. Hold on just a moment. They're showing me that this person that's coming into your life is very outdoorsy, very much likes nature and being in nature. And there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of hiking and being in that environment. So but I see you with a large group, you know, doing these types of things.
Okay.
It's almost like
That's
you're going to
always
meet
possible.
yeah, it's almost like you're going to meet somebody, like in a group like that.
Mhm. Okay.
So
that sounds good.
yeah. Yeah, this person is, like I said, is very outdoorsy, has a really fantastic sense of humor, and is very lighthearted. They're like, this person's very light. And so your team is showing me that when you meet this person, you're going to know it's going to be this lightness about, you know, about being around this person. When you think of this person, it's very light.
Mhm. Okay,
There's
that
no,
sounds very
yeah,
good.
yeah, there's no heaviness in this at all.
Mhm. Okay. All right. Well, that's something to look forward to.
Yes, it sounds very exciting to me.
It does. Okay. Well, thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Next, we have Sherry in Sanford, Maine. Good evening, Sherry, and welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
What can I do for you this evening?
I'm just wondering if anybody that has passed on that's close to me is coming through.
So, do you have a specific question? Or are you just looking for a general kind of overall message?
Yeah, just a general overall message.
Okay. Give me a moment here to tune in, and then I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Um, so Sherry, there's a female coming forward. She has a very motherly way about her, but she's telling me that she's not a mother. She's not your mother. But that there was a connection between the two of you.
Mhm.
She's showing me that you've had a very heavy heart over the last little bit, and she's feeling that along with you.
Okay.
It feels like that there's been a lot of sadness and a lot of grieving, like this energy around you for some time. And they're saying that you're taking a lot on, and taking a lot on that maybe isn't really yours. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. So they're saying that you don't need to carry all of that, that you can let that go.
Okay.
Okay. And try
All
to
right.
stay within your energy, and stay within the
Okay.
things that you can actually control.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And that will lighten your load. It's like, just by saying that, it feels like there's like a lift, like things have been lifted from you.
Right. Okay.
I'm getting the message, this is going to turn around. It's not always going to be this way. It may feel that way right now. And they want you to know to not give up, because this is not the new norm. Okay.
Okay.
They're saying like it's a phase, it's a bump in the road. And I know that they're saying it feels a lot bigger than that. And they're saying, if you can take a step back and look at the situation from like a larger view, like, we get so focused as humans, we kind of get the blinders on a little bit. And so they're saying, if you can step back and look at the larger view of things, and as your view goes out farther and farther and farther, the situation changes, and it doesn't feel as heavy. It doesn't feel maybe as bleak as what it looks like when you're zeroed in on all the little details, because you're very detail oriented. And you want every little box checked. And boy, can I relate to this. I'm this way too.
Yeah.
You want to have every little box checked. You're a planner, and you can't always plan for things. Okay. So they're saying, when you can step back and take a look at the larger picture, it's like it almost takes that pressure off, right? And then knowing that you're only responsible for you, nobody else, just you.
Okay.
And it's okay to say no.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Big message right there. It's okay to say no. They're repeating it to me.
Okay.
You don't have to be everybody's savior.
Okay. Perfect.
It feels good when we are the savior, right? It makes us feel good. We're doing something positive and something good. But they're saying, look into yourself, be the savior for you. And that's not looking at it from a selfish standpoint. It's being realistic, and it's bringing that back to you, so you can stay in your own energy, so then you can help others. Because right now your tank is empty. There's there's nothing more to give.
Right.
And so to be able to fill your own tank and say no, and be okay with saying no, because people understand if you can't do it. So take that pressure off of yourself, right? By saying, oh, I need to go do that. I need to do that for that person, or I need to do this, or I need no, just say no and take care of you and fill your tank, so that you can rejuvenate. And once you've rejuvenated, then you could look at helping other people or taking on something else. But you don't have that capacity right now. And they're saying, if you don't slow down a little bit and take care of you, then that's when you're going to fall into illness, like getting a cold, getting the flu, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Okay.
you don't want your body to get that far down the road. Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. Well,
And
thank you very much.
yeah, you're very welcome. You have lots of angels and guides. Don't be afraid to ask for their guidance and their help.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. All right. Thank you so much.
You're so very welcome. Have a good evening.
Okay. You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Wow. So that is a big message actually for all of us, right? It's about letting go of that responsibility of saying yes to everything. Saying yes to things is good. It can be a very good thing. Saying yes to everything. I met somebody, I took a class from someone last summer, and she said, when spirit calls, I say yes. And someone says, hey, I'm doing a show. Do you want to be part of that? Do you want to be my guest speaker? She's like, I just say yes to everything. So in some ways, it's okay to say yes to things. But when you get to a point where you need the break, your body needs the break, and you don't start utilizing the word no, that's when we start running into problems as humans, as light workers, as empaths, right? So it's really okay to say no. I cannot do this right now. I need to take a break. I need to do this for me, right? And then rejuvenate yourself, whatever that looks like for you, to be able to be in that space of saying, I'm taking a break. I'm taking this for myself, and then following through with that, and then learning what your boundaries are, because we all have boundaries and we all need boundaries in order to stay healthy and stay positive, right? So knowing what those limits are for you is very, very important, and then sticking to them and being okay with saying no and sticking to those boundaries and being okay with that. It is really a hard, I'm not going to say lesson, but it's a huge learning curve for some of us, myself included. I have a very hard time saying no. You can ask my husband. He's like, oh my goodness, your plate is so full. And it is. So being able to realize what your boundary is and saying no is really, really important. And don't feel bad about it. There's nothing wrong with saying no when you're trying to rejuvenate yourself. All right. We are coming down to the end of our show. Hard to believe it's already close to 8 o'clock Pacific time. I am going to have to say goodnight for right now. I want to thank you so much for joining me this evening. Please check out my website at wingsofsoulswithjulie.com. Check out the retreat session. I'm super excited about this, to be joining with my co-host, Melinda. I hope you will join us there in Bonnyville, Alberta, Canada on October 14th and 15th. But until then, we will see you next time. Have a great night, everyone.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for astrology and psychic readings with Lady D. Live from LadyD's PsychicParties.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Astrology and Psychic Reading on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi everybody, welcome to Astrology and Psychic Readings with Lady D. I'm your host for this segment, Lady D. I hope that you've all had a fantastic week. It has been an interesting week ahead. Well, the main thing that's coming up this week with the planets is that we do have a square. Now, this is the second square that we're going to be having with Venus and Uranus. So this is going to bring about unexpected, something to do with like love or finances. Could be some hiccups that come up with this. Now, if it didn't happen, the first squares are from astrology when these transits that sort of reoccur. I find if it doesn't happen like on the sort of the first or second, it'll happen in one of the attempts or one of the squares that form. So sort of nothing happened the first time, something may happen this time, or then it may happen the third time that these planets make a conjunction or make a aspect to one another. So we do have Venus and it's in retrograde. So like the first one that we had, Venus wasn't in retrograde. So it was when Venus was moving direct. Now that it is moving backwards, so this could be things from past issues that are coming back, sort of things sort of coming back to haunt you, or things that you thought had been finished and done, maybe coming back as well. It is in Leo, so it could be also about your pride, too, not wanting your pride to be bruised or the ego to be bruised. And it's also where we've got the square with Uranus, and that's in Taurus. So it's about stability, it's about security, it is actually about finances and money as well. When we look at Taurusans, they're good with money, they do like money. So we do have those aspects. We still have that Mercury that's moving through Virgo, and that's going to be in a retrograde towards the end of the month. We've also had that new moon that just happened earlier in the week that was in Aquarius that has brought up, I feel like, a lot of things of people wanting their free. And I did feel like it was a big cleansing that took place with that full moon that we had. And we've got the Saturn in Pisces too. With all this other stuff that we've got going on and what I've been channeling for the week that's coming up, I do feel like that old feelings, and I was in like resentment. So maybe things that you thought that you had dealt with, maybe coming up to the surface, things that sort of make you feel a bit like it's sort of, we always have issues that come up with people that, so he's got some hair in my eye, that you feel like you've dealt with and that it's done, but sometimes it sort of resurfaces up. And I do feel like it's about visiting things that you maybe thought had been done, sort of coming up here. I've got here overthinking things. When we've got this Mercury that is in Virgo, it can be about we overthink things and we tend to worry too much. When you do know anyone that is a Virgo, sometimes you find that they do tend to worry too much, and they can overthink things. And I feel like you're not wanting to be made to fuss over. So I feel like if you're someone that's going through a bit of a time this week, you don't want people to fuss over you. You want people to, yes, be normal about you, but we don't want to be made a fuss over this week with things. Speaking the truth, I got here, reflect on past situations, and this could be to do with financial. I got here wanting to start, make a fresh start. I got here, this is a good week to plan for the rest of the year. Not wanting to miss out. So there could be things coming up that you're not wanting to miss out on. You might be feeling more creative this week too. That's coming up. I got here time to expand and maybe match up sort of relationships on who you want to work with or network with. But this is a week to time to expand on those relationships. Wanting freedom. Got here. I feel like counting money. So people are going to be counting their money, looking at budgets this week coming up here. There could be a feeling of nervous or anxious that's up with the planets and make you feel a bit nervous or be anxious with things. And I've got here wanting more out of life. So people might feel like a bit stagnant. They're wanting more out of life. And these things are going to come up with this node that's moved into Aries of people wanting more of themselves and thinking of themselves more. And we've got here breaking free of old habits for this week and being told the truth. So it could be some more people want to be known truth. That's where things are going to come up here with this Mercury that's in Virgo. And I've got more lies exposed as well. So you might be seeing more things coming out in the media or underground, wherever you find your news. There's more things to be exposed to. It's coming up. So it's going to be an interesting week ahead, as it always is. Let's move to the caller here. So we do have Brenda, she's in Oklahoma in America. So hi, Brenda. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. How can I help you today?
I don't know, just maybe a general reading.
Okay, sure. Let's see. So I know your name is Brenda, but in my head I have that Beach Boys song about Rhonda. So I don't know if that song means anything to you, but I have that song in my head, and I know I know your name is Brenda, but that song is about Rhonda.
I don't know.
So
I'd
let's
have
have
to
a
listen
look.
to that song again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm that old,
Okay.
but I haven't heard that in like forever.
I know. It's just hopping in my head. Your father, has he passed over or is he with us still?
No, he's passed.
He's passed? He's passed? Okay.
Yeah, he's
I
passed
just had this man.
a long time
Yeah,
ago.
yes. Yes. I had this man with me, and he just said to me, I'm her dad and I haven't spoken to her in a long time. And he's been I feel like trying to give you a message, trying to get through to you. But sometimes not that you're not open, we're not looking for certain things, but I do feel like he has been trying to get get attention. I feel like with your dad, he was a person that he wouldn't want to be he wasn't into like any trouble. He'd want to stay. He's telling me that he sort of stayed on the straight and narrow. He wanted to stay on the straight. He's showing me a line and the path, and he's
Oh
staying on
gosh,
that
not
line.
even
So he's
close. Not my dad.
okay. We're telling me not your dad. He wouldn't be a good person. Um.
No, my dad
Okay.
was
Let's have
never
a
on
look.
straight and narrow.
Okay. Sometimes for me, when I get that, to me, it's more like they're not getting into trouble. Like I do feel like this person, he would like to have a bit of a drink, and he would with that he probably couldn't walk straight if he had like a few drinks. I feel like that. But I also feel like with him, he he didn't think things through properly. Because he's looking at his head, he didn't think things through. But he'd also um okay. But I also feel like in his mind, the way that things were in his mind is probably different than the reality. Because I feel like in his mind, he feel like he's trying to do a good job, but maybe in reality he's not. Because there's two things here. It's what I feel like what he's thinking, and then what reality is with him. Um, okay,
You,
because he wants to come across.
do you get my daughter
Sorry,
coming through?
I can try. Let me have a look, see if I can get your daughter. Can I please connect
I've been
to
feeling her. It's like, she'll sit down at my feet and the bed will move down or the couch where I'm sitting and stuff.
mhm. Okay. Your dad still wants to talk to you, but I'm going to try and move him aside. Um, Even though he wasn't all that great, he still cares. In spirit, he still cares for you. Can I connect to your Brenda's daughter, please? Okay. This lady, she was always this girl was like a happy. When I do see a girl there, and she's showing me like she's smiling and she's always true, but she's like hiding her smile. So I do feel like she's always trying to put on a brave face or put on a happy face, even though she may not have been happy, or if she was in discomfort. She's trying to put on a brave face while she's being happy with her, because it's like she's trying to sort of hide certain feelings that she has inside. And I feel like that she was brave, because she's telling me that she was brave. Um, she does have a lot of love for you, and she thought she had more time here because she's telling me I wanted more time. I thought I would have more time. It's because she didn't get to do everything that she wanted
Yeah,
to
she
do.
was kind of young.
Because it's like with her life, it was like half complete. It's like she was only halfway through. She's telling me with her life, there's so much more that she wanted to get done. I feel like she's very close to you because I see her sort of sitting beside you, but she's really like nudging, like cuddling into you. So it's like you give her I feel like you give her security, or you gave her security when she was here, and you tried your best to make her feel very comfortable and to be at home. Um, okay, and I also feel like she was like very important. Like she was like your sunshine. I'm hearing that song, "You're My Sunshine." So I do feel like she was a very important person, as she would be your daughter in your life. But it's like I see her as being Supergirl. So I just feel like the brave, or it's like she'll take things on to like she'd put on this like it's like something about her having a brave face with her.
Yeah.
There's also I see a dog with her too. She's got a dog. I don't know if she had a pet dog. Have you guys got a dog?
Yeah, I did. I named her son after it.
Because there's a dog with
His
her
name was
too.
Jack. I
Because she
named
loves this dog.
her son Jackson.
Because she loves
I
this
have a
dog.
son over there. I have a son there too, on the
Oh,
other
okay.
side.
Okay.
Me and Quinn call it Tall. The
Okay.
afterlife life, we call it Tall for short.
Oh, okay. Was this? She loves this dog, and this dog loves everyone. I feel like this dog, the tail's wagging very, very, very fast. The dog gets very, very excited. Very hyper, but likes to be around people. Doesn't like to be alone, and likes to just like feeling. This dog likes to feel loved, and I feel like it always felt loved, and always felt like it was part of the family. And I see it sort of under the table. It's sort of like sitting under the table. It's waiting to get fed, or to get someone's food off the plate. And the dog is just tell me it's a very happy dog too. And you were very reasonable with the dog as well. Um, you couldn't. I don't feel like you had a bad. You couldn't do anything bad to this dog, because I just feel like the love for this animal is a lot, even for your daughter. She just really like this dog is her companion in spirit, and she trusts this dog with everything that she has.
I've
She's
got
also your.
recordings of her and my son. I have a son that's in Tall too, and I've got recordings of him from a spirit box.
Oh, cool. That's lovely. That's lovely. Well, I know your daughter. She's giving you she does have a birthday hat on, and she's giving you flowers. So I don't know if someone's birthday coming up, or it's your birthday coming up, but I do feel like that's a birthday that's coming up here for someone, for you around you. Could be them. But they want to say quickly that they love you, and they are honored to have you as their mum. And they just wish they had more time, but they are sending you messages, and they are sending you signs from spirit, from the spirit world.
Can you ask her something? It's like, what did she mean when she said she didn't believe all my stories, but she didn't know who I was?
What do you mean she knew who you were?
I don't know. It's like she said, I mean, after she was over there, she said, some of your stories sounded so crazy, I didn't hardly believe them, but I just didn't know who you were. I'm like, well,
okay. I'm not sure if it's from her. It might be from someone else. I don't know. I'm not getting that from her. With her, I just feel like you're like her security blanket. Like you're like security for her when she was here. I know that, but when I see her with you, it gives you a lot of, like I said, she's giving you flowers and wants to celebrate with you. But I have to leave it there. And I hope you've had thank you for calling in today. And there are a lot of people over the other side who want to contact you, and they all just love you. But I have to thank you for calling in.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. So, guys, a lot of good show we had today. So, thank you for the lady that called in. So, if you want to contact me for reading, you can. My Facebook page is Lady D Psychic Parties. My website is Lady D Psychic Parties, and my Instagram and TikTok is Lady D Psychic, and my YouTube is Lady D or Danielle Psychic. So, thank you, and I'll see you again, same time, same place next week. So, bye for now.
John Capello has joined us. John Capello